All right, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. I have no fun, dramatic introduction. Every time I start the show, I try to have a fun, dramatic introduction where I'm saying something stupid or singing or doing some morning calisthenics. Nothing today. Today, we're just going to have a good old-fashioned gun chat. And there's been some requests for us to start the pre-show and like go live with the pre-show, maybe 15 or 20 minutes because we have some of our best discussions before we start the show. I said this last week too. And I'd like to, but we don't really regulate ourselves much in terms of language and stuff. And we try to keep the show family friendly as much as possible. You should be able to sit down with your kids and listen to it, or put this in the van, pump this through the speakers, and force your kids to listen to us talk to you for 2 hours. So while you guys are on a road trip. Anyway, this is Travis P11. Welcome to the channel. Today's discussion is a fun topic. Rifles that we recommend for $600 and below. Now, this is kind of a tricky one because a lot of us have purchased firearms that have gone up in price. So we're going to be looking at current prices for firearms that we own. They got to be $600 and below because some of these things have gone way beyond that price by this point. And so that's what we're going to talk about. And this topic was actually, shout out to Night Strike. He's actually the one that suggested it. I said, dude, I need a topic for Saturday. What's fun? He goes, rifles for $600 and below. I'm like, let's do it. And why $600? Well, I'm doing some searching online, and we do this a lot on this channel. And there are a ton of options. You can get into an AR or an AK or a really good bolt action rifle, some 22s, whatever. We're going to cover the gamut of, first of all, rifles that we recommend, and then we're going to go visit some stores online and just see what's out there because we tend to do that quite a bit on the show. Before we do that, we're going to let the panel go ahead and introduce themselves. We've got a loyal panel with us today. They've been with us for many episodes. And again, it's 8 a.m. Central Time, 8:02 a.m. Central Time right here in God's country, Nebraska. So before we do that, let's go and let everybody introduce themselves. Single Shot, what is going on, man? How you doing? Are you safe? Are you good?
Oh yeah, we're doing all right.
All right.
I'm just leaving the truck stop here in New Hampshire. I'm headed out to Florence, Wisconsin there for Monday. And I attempted a couple of videos on Rumble, but got things screwed up somehow.
Some tech issues. I'm not over there, so I wish I could give you a hand or help you out on that one, but I'm not over there yet. But I may go over there. I haven't decided yet what to do, but gotcha, man. Gotcha. So what have you been working on these days? What's going on lately? Anything new in the firearms world for you? Or?
Oh yeah. I just got a mold new one. It's a 312-160 that I intend on using for the 300 blackout, 308, 30-30, etc.
Okay.
And I cashed up a bunch of them when I was home this time. I was home for. Ooh, you don't like that one, huh? I got to cash up a bunch more anyway. I've got some for test. It's a finicky mold because you got to get it just right on the temperature. And if you don't, then the thing starts running what I call old man bullets. They're wrinkly.
Saggy.
I had a little bit of a time with that, and folks that watch that first video there on Rumble, you probably get quite a chuckle out of it because it only lasts about probably 15 seconds. You see me bending over after something, I says, hello? That was after my headset that goes to the tablet. It had fallen on the floor and gone underneath the casting bench, so I had
technical
to get
issues.
That thing and get it.
It's all part of the drama of being a gun content creator. So it's just you get what you get sometimes, So this isn't rehearsed. We have no script writers, no directors. It's just as you see
it.
So.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, that's cool, man. Well, what's your channel called over on Rumble if people want to find you? What should they be looking for?
It is Daywolf, DAYWOLF. And I posted a few over there. I got a few followers already, so
cool.
It's nice. It's nice to have that second platform where you're not grilled and griddled by liberals. That's all there is to it.
Okay. All right. And then also on YouTube, your channel is single space shot with the exclamation points. If you guys are looking for the channel, you can find it. I know sometimes you guys post the links to our channels out there in the chat. So thank you for doing that, those of you that do. And you can follow Single Shot over there if you want to learn about casting ammunition or just a fun channel to watch in general, man. It's good content. It don't cost nothing, right? Get over there and watch and have yourself a good time. So that's cool.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, good to have you with us again this week.
Videos on there.
Awesome. All right, and we'll go ahead and move on to Squibload. Squibload's with us. He's awake and lively. Squib, how much coffee have you had this morning so far? Because you're very awake today. I'm a little scared.
So I actually changed the caliber corner alarm on my smartphone from 8 to 7, so I could get up and.
Man. Wow! Well, thank you.
So first off, I didn't clock out at 10:30 last night, even though I volunteered to stay late. Late yesterday was more like 5:30, so I was actually able to get to bed at a decent time. So getting up at 7 this morning wasn't that too painful. So Arbuckle sent me out a free sample of coffee. Now I'm not shilling. They sent it out.
Pocket Arbuckles.
Yeah, they sent it out, I think, to say sorry for the lousy customer service.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
But the thing is, I found out two things. One is the label on the bag doesn't match anything on their website. So I don't know if they offer it. If this is something new, are they
experimental X19 roast? You know,
are they relabeling their Colombian? I don't know. The other thing is, the coffee wasn't great. It's free, right? But it wasn't great. So I spent most of the video ranting about the lousy customer service. So I don't even know if I'm going to publish it.
Oh man. Well, and it's it's the shipping prices and stuff, and that shipping across the board. There's so many of us get jacked, especially if you have to order a random part or piece for something. They charge $10, $15, $20 for shipping. It's like, God, really? And when it's coffee, it's like, I could go buy this stuff locally. I could buy stuff locally that would fulfill my needs, but I choose you out of the whole world of places I could order from, and this is what I get, So you must have got the apology roast is what they sent you.
Well, what happened is, so if you set up an account with them on their online store, you can give them your phone number, you can give them your email, and they can send you order confirmations, shipping confirmations, and they will send you text messages saying, hey, how did you like your order? Your next order is 10% off, or your next order is 15% off if you buy it within like 3 seconds, because they don't even give you a very big window to place it. It's like, dude, I just bought 8 pounds of coffee. You think I'm ready to buy more coffee, right? And they'll also send you those sorts of emails too. And they'll also send you, how was your experience, right? And it's like the first email I got, it's like, this arrived too late to give as a Christmas gift, a second year in a row. So no, my cousin, and they didn't respond to that one. And then the owner sent out an email, a mass email to all the customers on his list explaining why he's had so many issues getting stuff out on time or this, that, and the other. So I, responded to it, and he actually emailed me back, which I was surprised, right? And later I got a phone call from them, and we talked on the phone for about 25 minutes about them having trouble sourcing beans and some sort of drought in Brazil, and it's just things like that.
It's a difficult situation because they're trying to supply the freshest product they can, and they're limited by what they can get their hands on. And you say, well, that's not my problem. Well, it is, because that's just how things work. They can't get it any better. So you either live with it or you don't buy it. That is just the reality of it. It's not like they're making something that they could make better. They're getting the best they can to start off with, and unfortunately it's just been subpar.
Well, more or less, I told them, I said, what I should have done is I should have ordered 4 pounds of Ariosa, 4 pounds of Mexicali, and 1 pound of organic Ariosa to try it out. But instead, I bought 4 pounds of organic Ariosa, and it wasn't as good as regular Ariosa. I said, for one, the beans just crumbled to dust in the grinder. And he goes, well, maybe there's something wrong with your grinder. Well, I've tried 2 other whole beans in there since, and no, actually 3. No. And no, there's nothing wrong with the grinder.
Lack of moisture. They're just over roasted dry or just subpar quality.
Right. And he said also the beans may not have been the same kind of beans that they were, the regular area, et cetera, et cetera. So I said, this is on me from that standpoint. The rest of it is on you guys. And he goes, well, based on what you're saying, I think you'd like this Colombian coffee. I'm like, yeah, Colombian coffee is good and stuff. And it's just coffee. It really is. For $18 a bag, no, I wouldn't buy this.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying their other stuff isn't, but it's just another one that I've tried that is not the 2 go-tos, that is just a little bit of a letdown. So I haven't put all the footage together, but it's probably like a 12-minute video, and all you hear me talk about really is my customer experience, not really so much about the coffee. So I don't even know if I'm going to publish it. I've still got to go through and edit it. But I understand everybody's got labor shortages, and hell, if your stuff's coming across the border from Canada, apparently Ocean Spray cranberry juice must come from there because I haven't seen it in 2 weeks.
It's like Minnesota and Canada. Yeah.
It's like, how am I going to make mixers without cranberry juice? So yeah.
Oh wow, Kool-Aid. You're gonna start using cranberry flavored Kool-Aid, I think.
Dude, don't even. You know what? I'm adding that to the grocery list.
Poverty spec mixers. Weiler's juice mix, and then also
do they
Kool-Aid.
still sell that?
Weiler's, I don't know. I never bought it. I was always disappointed when Mom would buy Weiler's because it was not the same thing as Kool-Aid. It was not the same thing.
Well, just don't drink the Flavor Aid.
Oh yeah, Flavor Aid too. I remember that stuff too. So we've got a couple suggestions for what it was that they sent you. Squib. We've got Complaint Blend is what New York Outcast is calling it.
Nice. I might title the video that if I publish
the Complaint Blend. I call it Poverty Roast because it's like free and it's subpar. But oh man, if it's not $30 for a 1 pound bag, Squib doesn't want it. See, look at that! I've completely turned him into a coffee snob. Look at this monster I've created. So I'm telling you, I'm going to get you some of the Allegro coffee. That's the really good stuff, and I'll send you some of that. So.
You know what I might say in that video is that Travis sent this in the regular mail, and it got here faster than Arbuckle's FedEx service.
Yeah, exactly. I get it to you in 3 days, and I go to a UPS store that's manned by teenagers, and they rock. I'm sorry, it's true. They completely kick butt. So
and they may have sent you the coffee they used in Barney Miller's Squid.
There you go. Clover Tech says they still sell Weiler's here, but we often just buy the private label store brand stuff. Yeah, I like. I'm a big fan of Costco brands. Kirkland anything is fine for me. It tastes a lot like the regular stuff anyway. So frozen cranberry juice concentrate. Look at this rabbit hole we've gone down. Now we're talking drink mixers, and we're here to be talking about rifles.
Add that to the grocery list too. Thanks.
There you go. Frozen cranberry juice concentrate. So. Go ahead and you better go buy that before the crop report comes out, because as soon as the crop report comes out, it could skyrocket in price. So that's an old reference to Trading Places with Eddie Murphy. So, all right, so we're going to move over to Rich. Rich Wyatt, what's going on, man? How's it going?
Yeah, how's it going, guys?
Oh, man, we're doing good. We're talking about everything. How's life treating you, man? How's everything going?
Not too bad.
Excellent. Good deal, man.
Yeah, and my son got a new toy the other day.
Uh-oh. What did he pick up?
We went to the gun shop Thursday at the little general store in the area, and he got himself a CZ Scorpion.
Ooh, fun. Nice. I debated getting that or the Streborg, whatever the hell it's called, the Meatborg. The Strybog. I was debating that or also the Scorpion or the PSA AKV. And I decided on the AKV, but they're all great guns. They're all wonderful guns.
He's been wanting a Scorpion, and they had one hanging there on the wall.
The PSA magazines are fantastic, by the way. They're Scorpion compatible, and they're like anywhere between $15 and $17 for a 35 round mag.
Even the Magpul PMags are only like 20 a piece.
So. Yep. And you can get an extension. You can extend it from PSA to add another 15 rounds to it. So you can roll 50 rounds.
It was funny at the shop Thursday. The first gun he saw was a CZ P01, so he wanted to play with that. Then he saw the P10C with the standard barrel, where I have the one with the threaded barrel. So then he wanted to look at that one. And then he went back to the P01. And then as he's playing around with the P01 again, he looks up and on the peg wall on the back, behind the sales representative, you could just see his eyes got big.
That's awesome, man.
He was determined he was getting a CZ. He just didn't know which one until he saw the one on the wall.
That's what happened to me when I saw that shadow just sitting there in the use case looking at me with those puppy eyes. That Sarah McLachlan song started playing in the background, and I thought, I have to adopt this firearm. It needs a home. It needs a home. And it's looking at me saying, I've been here for 8 weeks. Please take me home. And it said, you're coming home with me.
Yeah,
and I adopted that CZ shadow too, and we've been best friends ever since.
That's the same way when I got my USP. I walked in, and there's the USP sitting there, and my eyes went right to it. The salesperson kept trying to sell me please turn in bread in 96. And I was like, no, I don't want that. I want that. I don't want that.
I'm really happy. I think CZ makes really great firearms. You're going to pay a premium price for them, but I think the extra maybe $200 on the handgun you might get versus something comparable, or it's hard to, it's an apple and oranges comparison, but they do make really well finished firearms. I'm going to take the shadow apart and took it apart and clean it and stuff, and very well built. They're great. I mean, they're wonderful. I can't speak so much to their polymer guns, but I think Roll Call 219 has a P10C, if I'm not mistaken, and he's had really good luck with it. His is really nice. He's got tuned trigger in it, and it's beautiful. I got a chance to see it a couple years ago when we met up. Yeah.
I have the limited edition version of the P10C suppressor ready with the urban gray grips on it. You know, the grip module.
Yeah,
whatever you want to call it. And that thing has a 4-pound trigger in it from the factory.
Oh. Yeah, and you know the nice thing too is they're based in Kansas City, Missouri, I think here. So you know,
I think they're moving to Arkansas or something.
Magazines are readily available. I love it. I love it. And I'm not gonna just become like a CZ fanboy, but the one that I bought, I feel like I got my money's worth out of it. That's what it is with me when it comes to a lot of my firearms. So yeah. All right. There is a question out there that we can go ahead and address. We have a couple minutes before we get into the discussion of the $600 rifles. Single shot, you ready to go? I got a question for you.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Okay, so M. Gabriel wanted to know your thoughts on the blockade on the convoy in general, the Canadian versus what supposedly will happen in the U.S. What are your thoughts on it? Is it necessary? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Because very soon it's going to start affecting the average everyday person when just simple things that we want, like Taco Bell hot sauce, Squib, don't show up on the shelves, and they're supposed to be there because they're shipping from Canada, or stuff's just not getting shipped. So people are going to start getting upset, and then they're going to. So what do you think? What's your opinion on the trucker convoy blockade that's going on up in Ottawa, for instance? Yeah,
I understand the point, okay, because this whole thing has been an abortion. Really, it has. It's been ridiculous because it's invading everybody's privacy, and it's an unconstitutional situation because the government has no right to force, that word, force anything on anyone unless they're a tyrannical government.
Say you're not in the USA anymore, though. When you go up to Canada, things change. You're not playing by the USA's constitutional rules and court rulings. So now it's like, now if you want to do your business as an American up in Canada, it's their sandbox. And I'm not supporting it. I'm not supporting it, but I'm just saying that people got to understand, well, you know, and maybe again, it'll make people start to wake up and realize that, hey, you shouldn't be pushed around like this for stuff that you don't want. You make whatever decision you want about a vaccine. I don't care. But I'm just saying that people need to understand that this is the situation, right? So you do whatever you want to do. It's not my place to tell you what to do. Right. So what do you think? Is it going to get to a point where people are going to start writing their senators because just everyday items are just not showing up because stuff's not being moved, or what?
Well, I mean, that's what people have got to do. Absolutely. The population in this country, if they're true patriots, they've got to try to get back on the bandwagon of contacting their legislators and letting them know their opinions about things. Otherwise, they're just
Canadians and Americans, right? I mean, we need both, you know. And maybe if the American companies start putting up pressure on the Canadian companies, maybe they might reverse their mandate. I don't know. It's Trudeau's very unpredictable. So
it takes input from the people, companies, everybody. Because otherwise, they go by the rule, okay, we're not hearing anything, we're just going to go through and do whatever we're going to do. And that's the way it's been happening. But Squib made a real good point here a little while in the pre-chat.
Yeah.
Prepare for these things. You know this kind of stuff can go down. You know, we've had several.
But people don't. Look how many people are buying bread and milk on a Friday night before the snowstorm comes in and on Saturday, and then everything sells out. You know, it's like people don't. Right. That's the problem, is they don't think. They think, oh, it's been there, it'll always be there. And then that one day you go to get whatever you want, and it's not. So what I said is what's going to happen is there's a ton of medicines, you know, the medical supplies that are manufactured in Canada. And when those meds don't make it to the U.S. because they're not being shipped to the U.S. and being distributed, insulin, you know, maybe some things that might expire, people might start to get a little upset when these companies have to start sourcing the pharmaceuticals in other countries, and they're paying more at the register now because their normal supplier didn't show up. I mean, I think the meds is going to be a big one. That's going to be a huge impact on
medical supplies.
Just look at how much stuff. Just look at made in wherever on the back of your packages. It will blow your mind how much stuff comes from Canada, people. You don't even realize it. So yeah,
you've got the category. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of this, but it's called imperative supplies. You've got a category: medicines, medical supplies, stuff that people need in a lot of cases every day, but they only ship so much, and the patients are only allotted so much. So you've got items that are imperative to pass. So at the borders, if they've got those items on their trucks, those people have got to let them pass and go wherever they got to go, back from Canada back to the U.S. or vice versa. So that's something that has to be considered. But don't drag these things on forever. You know.
Yeah, we'll see what happens after March when there's supposedly a convoy coming up that's going down to DC in March. After March, maybe things will change. There's a lot of channels on YouTube right now that are doing live streaming from Canada, and they've got trucks everywhere. They're parking them everywhere down in their capitals and stuff. There's a channel called Ottawa Walks that I was talking about earlier that's just exploded. This guy's walking around, showing the police, showing the truckers on opposite sides of the street, showing the trucks blocking everything. The tow trucks aren't pulling them out of the way. And I mean, you know, and I'm not complaining, but just saying they're putting trucks like in the middle of major intersections and stuff, just blocking it with their truck and their trailer. What are you going to do? You know, you can't get around it. You can't get over it. So
I'll make one more point and then I'll yield the floor. This is something that I have learned because I've been through 3 truck strikes and they could get deadly because I've been shot at several times. Okay. Because I was out here still running. There was one of those strikes, I literally had to take my doors on that trailer, chain them open so that people could see that I was not loaded and still be able to travel with somewhat of safety. But the thing is, what I'm saying is if it goes too long, then you're going to irritate the higher ups. They, in turn, will turn around and take and make more laws, rules, and regulations that it's going to make it tougher for us. And it's already tough enough. Yeah. So make your point. Get back out there and get going. Go ahead.
Yeah, you got a good point. And again, when it starts to affect the companies and they're not making their revenue, then they'll start to put political pressure on it. When the countries aren't getting their sales tax money because things aren't being sold. Right. It could have a positive effect and get this mandate reversed. I don't know. I don't see Trudeau doing that because he's hiding somewhere in a bunker up in the Yukon Territory, I suppose, you know, with his army protecting him. So he's playing keyboard commando right now, just running it all from some little bunker somewhere, and he can say and do whatever he wants because nobody knows where he's at, you know.
Right.
Yeah. But, oh, hey, before we forget, I see Newark Outcast out there. So behind me, okay, not a sponsor of the channel, but somebody who has donated these items to the channel. We've got the rnldisplays.com PC carbine stand, and this one does take Glock mags. It is Glock mag compatible. Now, this PC carbine has the Ruger magazine adapter in it, which it doesn't affect the way that it sits on the carbine mag, but those are Glock mag compatible. They also make pistol holders, rnldisplays.com. And then also we've got the AR-15 stands, and these also have a wall mount option with all hardware that is included. So American-made, veteran-owned. Check out your AR-15 stand at rnldisplays.com. Very cool. Rich White put the address down there for you guys. If you use code TP11, you will get 11% off your order plus an additional 4%. So you will get 15% off your order if you use the code TP11 at checkout. So, and again, I get no commission from it. It's not an affiliate link or anything like that. It's just straight up a discount for people. So check out the rnldisplays.com stand. You can sit a Setme C308 on this. This will actually fit in the magazine well. So anything that takes an AR-15 magazine well, there you go. I got to do my part because Robbie's a great guy, New York Outcast. I just recently posted a unboxing video for the PC carbine behind me, the stand for it. And again, I was very impressed. So, whoo, man, what is going on? Let's see. CloverTax says at Travis P11 looks like Oklahoma City is the closest one to me. Yeah. So CloverTax said he tried his first, Starbucks drink and it was not good. He didn't like it. A good starter drink to get at any kind of a coffee shop. If you ever have a Caribou Coffee close to you, they make a drink called the Campfire Mocha that is absolutely fantastic. It's just this deluxe hot chocolate that's just unreal. You can get it with white chocolate, milk chocolate, dark chocolate. Anyway, let's go give a shout out to the YouTubers and let's go into the discussion. And before we do that, we'll let Foos introduce himself. So Foos, hold on one second. So out here watching today, we got New York Outcast, we got SS Pond, Scott79, CloverTac, Rich White is out there, X Adam 1, Mike, Fluffy 10mm Jeep guys watching, M Gabriel in the house, E-Rock's with us. Let's see, we got CloverTac. Who else is out there? YNH is watching today. We got TJ Persichetti, is that right? Persichetti? Tacos and French fries, Gunmetal Guy USA, Mike. Let's see who else is out there. Brian Schudler's out there, says good Saturday, guys. Squibblo's out there, and over here, Bwat75, Guns and Barbecue. I thought I saw Gun Snob earlier, maybe. I don't know. Kingpin's out there, Kendrick98, Scott79. And now Foos. Foos, give us your introduction. Who are you, and why should we care?
Number one, you shouldn't care.
All right, good, good.
Number two,
humor. Yep.
Well, no, I mean, I'm just a guy on the internet. And number two, I'm in the gun world. I shoot mostly USPSA, but I just love all types of firearms and the history around them. Like my latest purchase was 1889 Schmidt-Rubin, just because I wanted it and I wanted to see the history in my hands and all that good stuff.
And aren't you trying to collect the different firearms from different campaigns, different world wars? You want to have
I have done that. I have an example of a firearm from every major combative military or combative country in World War II.
Awesome.
I have type M44 Mosin. I have MOS 36, those built post-war. So, like, it doesn't have to be actually during conflict. It could be an example post. My Japanese one is a non-firing. It punctures primers. I think I just need to adjust
the depth of the firing pin, basically.
Yes,
with a little screw on the back of it, like what they have on the Mosins.
I think I need to do that, but I haven't.
Gotcha.
But that's my only non-firing one. I'm kind of looking for a better example of an Arisaka. But yeah.
Sounds good. Well, I'm glad you're with us. Glad you're here. And we're just going to get the discussion rolling off here pretty soon. So this is a couple more people just joined in.
That Schmidt-Rubin was right at the $600 mark.
Like I said, it's amazing what you can get for that price. And for a lot of people, that's just a couple payments of $200 or 6 payments of $100 or 12 payments of $50 or just a one-time pay of $600. Again, now we're not taking into consideration shipping or taxes or FFL fees because there's places you can go where you don't have to worry about those things, or you might have a friend that's an FFL. So everybody has different access to different prices, but we're just talking like market price you see on the internet screen, $599, $99, or $600. We want to talk about it. So what are some great recommendations that are out there? And the other thing too is, well, I bought this 3 years ago for $349. Well, you can't anymore. Okay. So we're also looking at the current market price of guns that we own or that we can find. And I found a lot of them for $600 and below. So that's what we got going on. Okay, so real quick, hold on. Shout out to DJ Play Nice, Artisan Tony, who's mentioning a rifle we're going to talk about. And then Mountain View just showed up and said, I'm here too. So Mountain View's joining in. Mike's with us. Good to see you guys. All right, Foos, back to you. Go ahead.
I was just going to say ARs. ARs are.
Oh, yeah.
Getting down to stupid cheap again.
Bear Creek Arsenal has $349 ARs, complete ARs. I think you get a mag, but you're not going to get sights, but you're going to get the complete upper, the lower. Basic furniture, just carbine gas system, 16-inch, just like what I bought. That was the second AR that I bought when I started making my YouTube videos. My first one was a DPMS Oracle, and that was before I was making YouTube videos. There were some pictures of it floating around over on gun channels and stuff, and I've got a few pictures of it. But yeah, you can get yourself a basic Bear Creek Arsenal AR-15, and their shipping prices are pretty fair. They're like $10 to $15 for shipping. They don't usually jack on it. Sometimes they have free shipping weekends. So for $349, you can get yourself an AR. Heck, I would just almost buy it for the parts just to have one sitting around, for spares. Because there was a time when those bulk air groups are going for $100, right? And have a complete lower and stuff. And so anyway, but there are other brands. There are other brands you can get to for under $600, and we'll definitely talk about those. And don't forget, you've got options. You can go buy an upper from one company, and you can go buy a lower from another. Maybe you want to go get yourself a $109 PSA lower, and you want to go over to Arrow and get yourself a $475 upper, $500 upper, and get in. A little over $600, but get a cool Arrow upper with a neat handguard on it. The Atlas handguard. Yeah.
Because really the lowers don't matter at all.
No, but you should.
It's the upper. You want to have a good bolt and good bolt and barrel. That's what you need with an AR. Yeah. You definitely want to get something that's built to a decent spec. I remember I had a Radical Firearms 10.5-inch upper that I tried it on multiple lowers, and it was horrible. It would double feed.
It would not eject. It would not. I mean, it didn't matter if I was running brass through it or steel case. I mean, I cleaned it and tried to work with it, but it was just so finicky. Now maybe Radical's improved, but I wasn't very happy with that one. I ended up sending it in and getting it repaired, and then I got it back, and then I just ended up selling it. So I don't know what they did to it, but it would not. I don't know if they polished the feed ramps a little bit on it, but it was just not a happy rifle. So yeah, New York Outcast, we're going to talk about that when we get to bolt action rifles. Was your Ruger American under 600? So yes, it was, and we'll have to see what they go for now, because that 762 by 39 Ruger American Ranch is a highly sought after rifle. They're $700, $800, $900 on Gunbroker, which, unfortunately, that's one of the few places you can find them, because locally that particular chambering is not easy to find. I've seen them in other calibers at the local shields, 223 or 556, 450 Bushmaster, 300 Blackout. Those are under 600. They're $599 or $549 depending if they're on sale. But all right, so let's talk AKs here, because I want to start off with that. Can you get a new AK-47 for $600 and below? Now, if you do any price shopping, if you do any looking around, and one place I go a lot is Gun.Deals. I'm not endorsed by them, but I go there because they'll have deals posted on there that you can find them on Gun.Deals. But if you go to that manufacturer's website, you won't find that gun for that price. They do exclusives over there. And one of the ones that I've seen, and now it's been showing up, but sometimes it's not, is the PSA blemished AK-47 GF3, right? So we'll take a look at this. I want your guys' thoughts on this. I don't know if you can get, there's one other AK-47 platform firearm that you can get that's not 22 LR that you can get for under 600. And I'll show that off here too. What have you guys seen anything else AK-47 wise for $600 or below? Gun shows locally.
No.
A lot of those ones that came out at that low price point have gone up tremendously. Like and again, not that I would advocate you buy one, but you've got like the Century Arms, some of their Viscas and stuff like that. They were maybe $600 to $700 at one point, but those have all gone up. Their C39 V2s or whatever, those have gone up in price now. So what I think is probably the least expensive AK-47, and if you don't have one, you should. This is what I think you should go buy if you want one, and it's got some really good features. It's finally been refined and revised enough that I think it's going to be a solid purchase. It's made out of quality materials. What do you guys think about this? What's your take on it? Foos, what's your take on it, man? You're the metallurgist here. What do you think?
The PSA one?
Yeah, we're showing it right now. The GF3 forged classic polymer. $599.
No issues.
It's blemished, so it's gonna have a spot or two on the finish, but who cares? You're buying it to be a beater anyway. But
I mean, you shoot the thing, it's gonna have a blemish on it.
True. Oh yeah. You bump it, you knock it over in your vehicle, or drop it at the range, or set it down on something, it's gonna scratch. So let's see what we're talking about.
You shoot it, you actuate the safety, you're going to have blemishes on it. I mean,
yeah, absolutely. And it shows it with like scratch marks from the safety anyway. Not that my AKV does the same thing. Yeah. So we got a 4150 steel treated barrel, which is good. My AMD 63 is actually a 4140. Not the end of the world if you're not doing mag dumps, but it's nice to know. Gas nitride finish, which is good. Hammer forged front trunnion, hammer forged bolt carrier. Side scope mount, includes a 30-round mag, 1 and 9.5 inch twist, and standard rear leaf sights. And you get basic furniture on it, which you can swap out for 100, 150. You can put Magpul furniture if you want to, or get a good set of wood furniture for it, which they sell on the PSA website, but I want to say it's around 150. You've got a hardened steel 1mm receiver, so it's not the 1.5 millimeter, but it's not a big deal. It's going to be their own trigger. What do you guys think about this? What are your thoughts on it? If you're going to go buy an AK, would you buy one of these? Yes or no?
Sure.
Yeah? Decent? Okay.
Yeah.
Foos, what do you think about that? Is that you get a lifetime guarantee on it? You got free shipping.
I get it.
You're going to pay an FFL fee, and you're going to have to pay sales tax, which means it's going to push it to probably $575 when it's there, $550. But depending on what your sales tax rate is. Yeah.
So, like, I've built AKs in the past, and I've bought them, the last big hype. Like, I would buy this, swap out furniture, stuff I already have, and probably sell some I'd probably run a couple hundred rounds through it.
Yeah.
And then I'd probably sell some of the stuff I have.
I think this one, I haven't watched like AK-47 Operator Union's channel. He does also a lot of really good long-term tests on his AKs, thousands and thousands of rounds through these things, and you can see what kind of bolt wear and trunnion wear it has and so on. If you watch those videos, show it, close up. They'll show you the wear and tear that it has, and he'll make some commentary on, whether or not this is a good thing or a bad thing. And a lot of these, it seems like they start to have a little bit of wear, and then they just kind of settle in that wear pattern, and that's it. It doesn't really accelerate. Yep. It's just that teething process your rifles go through.
He's done PSA AKs.
Oh yeah, he did a GF3 3 or 4 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, when they first came out. And when there's problems with it, he shows it and he sends them back. So he does show them break. He tries to break them. He'll dump them in a swamp for the weekend and then whip it out and start shooting it. Shoots it out in the snow, puts a suppressor on it. Used to do push-ups on it, drops them on rocks. I mean, and so you can watch that video and get an idea as to what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah, he drops them on concrete. And there was one time he actually would hook them up to the back of his truck and drag them with his truck.
Oh, God. Yeah, so I mean, it just, I think for 600, again, I don't have one, but I do own PSA rifles. I've got an AKV. If it's anything like that, I think you're going to be fine. I don't know what kind of barrel life you can expect out of that. What do you guys think? 10,000 rounds from a 5150? Could you get 10,000 rounds? If you're not doing mag dumps, heating up the grooves and really abusing it, could you get 10,000 rounds out of something like that?
The average shooter isn't going to wear that. Yeah, the average shooter is not going to run that barrel out.
They can't afford to shoot 10,000 rounds here. Maybe some of our viewers can, but I can't at, $350 for 1,000 rounds.
Yeah. That's it's a lifetime. It's your kid's lifetime. So their kid's lifetime. Even if you go out and you shoot it a lot, it's still for what an AK is, or what that intermediate, the usefulness of that. Even if the barrel does start to get shot out a bit, you're fine.
Yeah. Watt 75 says it is Robski approved. Yeah, he'll come back after 4,000 to 5,000 rounds. I don't think he's doing those 5,000 round tests anymore because ammo's gotten so expensive. He can't, because he doesn't have an ammo sponsor, which really surprises me. But he just runs steel case like crazy through stuff. But at today's prices, he might do 1,000 round test on instead of a 5,000 round test. Because back then we could get our 1,000 rounds for 175 delivered. It doesn't happen anymore. So he could afford to do it with the size of his channel and Patreon sponsors. But at 350, 375 for a case for 762, it's not realistic anymore. New York Outcast says anything over 350 is too much for an AK.
Yeah, Rob's used to the old slave labor prices that we used to pay for AKs.
Were AKs ever $350? Squib, you're old. Were AKs ever $350?
Oh yeah.
Did you get a Wasser for $350 back in the 80s or 90s or something, or what?
In the 2000 teens, you could get a Wasser for $250.
Oh my God. Because I don't remember Wassers being $600-700 AKs, and then they've just gone up for there,
No,
they we pay the markup in the last 20 years on the AK has gone through the roof.
That's insane, dude. Well, I never thought they'd be more expensive than ARs, or what was it the reverse? No, ARs have gotten more expensive than AKs. You never thought you'd see that. Just a basic AR 50 would cost more than what they did during the pandemic. They were pushing $900, $800 for just $700 for just a basic PSA rifle.
Yeah.
They were $699.
They had an Arsenal at the gun shop the other day. They wanted almost $2,000 for it. I was like, not in this lifetime.
They were $1,200 rifles before all this crap. But
Arsenals, like if you start to get the $2,000, get one built by Jim Fuller. Get
Rifle Dynamics
Arsenal.
or whatever.
He doesn't own Rifle Dynamics anymore.
No.
Okay.
He sold
that a couple of years ago. So, but
if they carry on the tradition, you'd probably be safe buying one from the. I don't know.
I'm not. I just didn't want to say Rifle Dynamics.
Oh yeah.
I said built by him or a company that he was an owner of, because it's going to be good stuff. And those are $2,000. Arsenal, depending on which Arsenal, would be worth $2,000. But of course, all this monetary, it doesn't matter what it's worth. It's what it's worth to the individual who buys it.
Mm-hmm.
If you think a firearm's worth $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, then it's worth $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000.
Well, when I bought my Daniel Defense M4A1, I thought, okay, it's good enough for SOCOM. It's good enough for me. That upper is used by special forces. I'm like, I think that'll get me through most situations, So that's why I spent the money on it,
You're more demanding.
Way more demanding. I am a low speed, high drag tier 2 operator. That's what I am. So there's a SEAL Team 6. I'm SEAL Team 12. So there you go. That's right. Any apologies if there's an actual SEAL Team 12 out there. It was more of a reference to me being twice the size. But anyway, Mountain View says, at Travis P11, I bought an AK from PSA for the New Year's sale. the Mokov, so that's the Magpul equipped GF3 with the I can't remember what the name of the actual Russian name for the furniture that's on. It's got maybe the folding stock. They're really nice, really nice. Paid $600 for it. Light on recoil. I prefer this over my buddy's AR-15. Yeah. So, and that's the thing about that. The $599 blemish price is about as low as we're going to get right now. That's the lowest I've seen so far. E-Rock says the PSA is BA. That AK runs all. Okay, so it must be a good one. Getting a lot of stuff, a lot of good recommendations out there. Yeah.
I missed whenever the 5.45 guns were about $100 cheaper than the 7.62 guns.
Okay.
Now you can't find a 5.45 gun.
Yeah. Remember when you could get a Zastava for like $600?
No,
those days
that never happened. They're at least 1,100 now. Well, 900.
Yeah, now.
Okay, you could probably get an entry level MPAP or whatever for $8. I think is what we're looking at roughly.
And I don't understand why those are more expensive because they don't have the traditional.
Well, aren't they made in the USA now too, or aren't they finished in the USA? You think if they're finished here, then maybe they wouldn't be as expensive or something? I don't know.
They're importing them themselves now. I mean,
you're getting a chrome line barrel. You're going to be maybe getting some premium features on it that because they were like $700. I remember seeing MPAPs for like $700 7 or 8 years ago. That was kind of when I really started getting into guns. But
I remember getting their pistol
$500 at one point, man.
I remember getting their pistol for mid-4s.
Yeah, you would get. You used to be able to get the pistol for $600 with the brace and an optic mount.
Oh man, I missed the train on that one. So here's Artisan Tony's new toy. This is proof that he has everything. If you ever say you want to see something on a gun, that man has either shot it or owns it. But anyway, check out his channel. That's his GF3, his blend model that he got from PSA. This is what it looks like when it shows up. He's got a 30-round PMag with it and OD green furniture. I love OD green. I'm a sucker for OD green.
I like the optics rail.
You put OD green on an Altor pistol, I'd probably buy it. So, yeah, it doesn't have you can get a cover though.
No, it has a side.
Oh, it's got the side. Yeah, it's got the side on it too, so you can get your mount, probably an RS Regulate or something on the side of it. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm totally opposite of you. I'm not a OD fan.
Oh, I love it. I don't know what it is. It kind of has kind of that mil spec look to it or something. Kind of that. It just saves you the trouble of having to add camouflage to it or do any kind of custom paint job or something. It's already ready to go for whatever it needs. So, Artisan Tony, the ODG sold it to me. Yeah, the OD green. If there's pistols that are OD green, I'll probably buy it. I took my AR-15 and converted it to OD green. Put all the Magpul furniture on it. It looks really nice. It does look cool. So that's E-Rock will never see those days again. I know you'll be telling your grandkids, when I was a kid, you could get a Mosin for $125. Now you got to finance one at $1,500, and there's no warranty. Right? That's 10 years from now. That's where we're going to be. So, oh crap! All right, so that's
I still like to talk about my Type 53 that I bought for $25.
Oh my God! So tell us a story about this. This is fantastic.
I walked in.
Go ahead.
And I was sitting up there. And I was like, that's a Mosin variant. Because I could tell right away it wasn't an M44 Type 50 or M38. I walked up there. It's like, what's that? I was like, I have no idea. It's been sitting up there for a long time.
We hang air fresheners off of
it. I said, hey, what is it? He's like, I don't know what it is. Do you want it? I was like, how much? He's like, I don't care. $25. Get it out of here. I was like, all right.
Just take it here. Yeah, pick something else on the way out. Grab some tools on the way out. Grab some vice grips on the way out. Just anything. Get it out of here.
And as soon as I saw it, I noticed that the Chinese markings on it. So I'm like, okay, it's Type 53. Okay. Oh, yeah, I'll buy it. And I've gone deer hunting with it. Like that's whenever I go out deer hunting, 75, 100 yards in, I take that, and I love the thing.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, those are underrated, very nice rifles.
And the stock is beat up a little bit. I mean, the gun, it's accurate as all heck. I would say it's more accurate than my Type 40 or my M44, my Russian one.
Yeah, my wife saw one at the local gun shop when we first moved here. They wanted $275 for it. We paid $250 out the door, and that thing's the bolt on that thing is as smooth as any Mauser you would pick up.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh man, the good old days. Jeez. So what else we got going on? So all right. So back to the AK discussion. I found one other AK variant, and I didn't really mix, PCCs in with this one, but we're gonna go ahead and just show it off anyway. So, Squibload was with us, and hopefully he'll be back. Looks like he was having some technical issues. So Squib, if you're watching, it says you got to reconnect your camera and your mic before you can join us. Just to give you a heads up in case you're listening, wondering what's going on, but it says device not connected, just to give you a heads up. So the other gun that I found for sale for $5.99, AK platform. This is the closest you're going to get to a Wasser. This is the Wasser M, semi-automatic AK-47 style, 16-inch barrel, chambered 9mm. So again, I wanted to stick with more traditional rifle calibers because we had our PCC discussion last week. But this is basically the same price as a Ruger PC carbine. And, granted, it's not packable or takedown model like the PC carbine is, but for $5.99, you're going to get the Wasser build with a Glock compatible AK, which for some people, this might work. You've got a lot of magazine availability. You got a lot of options. So what do you guys think about this one? Because the next step up on a Wasser is $800. If you want anything AR, it's like, or AK, it's like $779 over Classic. Any thoughts on this one, guys? I don't know. Is that just wrong in every way, shape, or form, or what?
I've just never been interested in something like that. I take a standard AK-47. I've always wanted one of them anyway, but not that one.
Yeah, for this is my views on a PCC. It has to be like AR-15 style because you want a really light pistol. A really light rifle, or a PC, or the Ruger.
The PC carbine weighs about 8 pounds. Yeah. This sucker's heavy. Don't let it fool you. It is very heavy. It's not light by any stretch.
You get into some of these PCCs that competition guys are on. This one guy I know, he has his rifle built out, and it's about 4.5 pounds. For a full rifle. And it swinging around is like, if I have a pistol caliber carbine, I want the thing as light freaking possible.
You'd probably be better off going with an AR. PCC AR 9mm, go with something with like an 8.5-inch barrel or a 10.5-inch barrel, and you want to lighten it up and just run plain Jane furniture on it, lightweight furniture. There's nothing wrong with this. If somebody wants a good beater, this would probably do the job. It's the same price as a PC carbine. Like I said, you don't have that packable capability of this, but a lot of people don't care. So again, I would never discourage anybody from buying any gun, but this is definitely an option that somebody might consider.
Ditto.
I'd like to see this do a range test of this versus the PC carbine, because I just did a PC carbine range test and it shot really well with just a basic red dot on the top of it. So okay. So this is just an option. This was the only other thing that I could find for $5.99 that was, AK. I guess I didn't go over to Atlantic Firearms. Sometimes they have some good deals too that you can find, but that was just one of them. So those are the two options that I found. Otherwise, I did buy my, James River Armory AMD 63. I still have that right now. And that's basically, it's an AMD 63 or 65, which there was never one or the other actually made, but Classic Firearms called it that because they put a standard stock on the back of it. And I think I paid $549 for it at a time when, $600 or $649 for it. I paid about $150 more for it than a basic AMD 63, but it has, a UTG Picatinny rail on the front of it. It's got the nicer furniture on it. It's got a Phoenix Arms stock on it that has a storage compartment in it. It's a little bit of a step up from the basic AMD 63, which had the reverse, pistol grip on the front and the back and the little sheet metal handguard and stuff on it. So I feel like it was definitely worth it. I would like to maybe turn around and put some Magpul furniture on it. I did swap out the grip, but that was about it. But it's very comfortable to shoot. So X Adam 1 says, just buy High Point. I hear they're just as good. Hey, man, I traded my Jimenez JA-22 and 2 boxes of CCI mini mags for a High Point 995 early model production with the old school Planet of the Apes stock on it. So I love it, man. That sucker's awesome. It came with, it's a 9mm, but it came with a 380 magazine. So I turned around and bought a 9mm magazine for it, which was pretty cheap. It's great, man. It's awesome. It's got the crappy High Point aftermarket Weaver rail on the top. Before they had a pick rail, before they had the advanced stock, you could get this rail. So it's got this rail on it. It's already been hacked off the front with a Dremel. It's got a crappy Bushnell on the top, and it shoots like 1-inch groups at 25 yards. So with ball ammo, with Foos's ammo, it shoots like 1.25-inch groups. So I can't go.
Wait! That stuff's strong enough to cycle a high point?
Oh yeah, dude! In my video, I even chronoed it. I even chronoed it in the video. You got to go back and watch your handiwork, brother. Yeah, it shot really well. Yeah, the 124. I had no issue shooting the high point. Now, granted, who knows how many rounds that thing's had through it because it's well worn. I mean, she's smooth, man. She's smooth. Everybody should have a 995. Hey, Kevin June is out there. Kevin June, thank you very much. I got your package. I have not opened it up yet. Supposedly there's an aftermarket Mosin stock in there, an ATI stock, which we're going to see, which I owned. Like when I first got my Mosin, the first thing I did was put it in the ATI stock because it was much more comfortable to shoot, more ergonomic, modern sling mounts and stuff. And I ended up selling that stock. I sold it on eBay because I just didn't like the look of the gun in the stock. But now I kind of miss it because you can shoot the Mosin all day with that stock on it. And I'm going to put it in that stock and take it out and do an accuracy test on it. So just
is it the one?
It's the Monte Carlo style stock. It's the Monte Carlo one.
The high point, is it the one with your scope on the top?
Oh, it is the 995 that had high points actual bolt-on rail. It's 995 carbine. Yeah. Oh, the video, it shows me standing there shooting it at the range. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I did that, and then I did a cleaning video for it. So, and it's really not that bad to disassemble and clean. So it was really not that hard. I mean, I did it, and they're about the same, the newer ones versus the older ones. There's like 1 or 2 steps that are very minor that are different, but they're almost identical. No. So mine's been kind of hacked a little bit. Yeah, when it came from High Point, the ones that were optic ready didn't have a standard front sight, so there's no front sight I can use because it's got the rail on it. It'll always have to have a red dot on it, which I don't care. I bought it as a beater just to play around with. So, and it was a good deal. And also, I was done with the Jimenez J822. I had my fun with it. I converted it to a zombie gun. All the parts flew off the zombie gun. I was ready to move it out. So. And I guess we had our PCC discussion last week, so we really won't be talking about those. Although this is an option for $600, you can get these for under $600 if you look around. They're not that hard to find. So, okay, now let's go ahead and move over to AR-15s. What's out there for AR-15s? Well, I've got some good news for you. If you don't have an AR-15, well, first, like I mentioned before, Bear Creek Arsenal has AR-15s for $349. I believe they come with a magazine. You're going to have to add your own sights or carry handle up on the top. But $349, you can get yourself an AR-15. I think it's a fixed front A2 sight, but get yourself a $30 flip up rear sight. You're ready to go. Get some ammo, get a sling for $10, and again, you really can't go wrong. So let's go up. Let's get away from Bear Creek Arsenal for a little while. What else is out there? Well, these have finally dipped below in price. You can get an M&P 15 Sport 2 for $598. Yeah, they were cheaper pre-pandemic, but this is a very, very good rifle. It's got a nice kind of semi-heavy barrel on the front, the cut on it. You do get a flip-up mag pull rear sight on it for $598. I mean, I love Bear Creek Arsenal rifles. I've shot a lot of them. I've tested a lot of their uppers. I've broken them. I fired them. But this would probably be the way that I would go if I was just going to get a first AR-15. This would probably be the way to go. And I just say because I've seen the tests on this thing. Eric from Iraqi Veteran did a test on this thing, and it ran full auto hundreds and hundreds of rounds before the handguard finally caught on fire and the gas tube failed. I think he ran like 850 rounds of full auto through it, magazine after magazine after magazine before it failed. That shows me that this thing is built to a spec where it's going to take the abuse. And that was just a basic off the rack M&P 15. It might not have been the Sport 2. I think it might have been an original Sport. But yeah.
Well, I mean, the original Sport just doesn't have a dust cover on it, right?
Or no, this was a Sport 2 then, because that video was only about 4 years old. Yeah.
So this would be a good one to be like, okay, first AR, get it.
Yes.
And it
or only AR, man. If you're only going to get one, I would buy one in a heartbeat. Yeah.
And then if you want to swap that out. It's fine. You still have your functional firearm. If you're like, I don't know what I want, but I want a firearm now. Go ahead and do this. And then
free shipping on this one, by the way, and this is over on gunbuyer.com. What I do is I go to gun.deals and I type in whatever I want, and then I just start clicking on what's available on the list.
So
and it comes up.
Shipping for a rifle is usually $35-$40. So you're saving that right there if there's a free shipping. So if you're like,
you got your transfer fee, you got your sales tax. Well, you're going to pay the sales tax. At most stores, you'll buy sales tax whether you buy it in the store or not. The only gun store that I know of now online that doesn't charge sales tax for a firearm is familyfirearms.com. They don't charge sales tax on any guns outside of their own state. I don't know how they do it because I bought mine when I bought my DD, my Daniel Defense M4A1. I didn't have to pay sales tax on it, which is why I bought it through them, because that was a $1,500 rifle. So that saved me a significant amount of money. Yeah.
Yeah, like
$75 for Nebraska sales tax right there.
These places are they if they have a warehouse in a state, they have to charge
some
tax.
states, if they have so much in sales in that state, they're obligated to charge sales tax. But yeah, some states it has to have a warehouse in. I thought Nebraska, if they sold over so much in inventory in that state, they had to charge sales tax. So yeah,
we don't have sales tax on firearms here.
Oh man, you're lucky. I'm moving. Dude,
ammo and firearms no longer.
East Virginia is such a beautiful state. East Virginia is a beautiful state. So
yeah,
Virginia,
not in East Virginia, in West Virginia.
There is an East Virginia. Okay, I don't know my geography.
Yeah,
I'm just West Virginia. Guys. I'm screwing with you.
You're in West Virginia, the unconstitutional state. Gotcha.
Ooh, shots fired. Okay, let's not go there. All
Virginia called and they want their backyard back.
Well,
Virginia called. Yeah, there you go. Virginia called their backyard. They want their back 40.
So for $600 or right in that range, I mean, obviously sales tax, transfer fees, and that sort of thing aside, yeah, I think this would probably be for a good entry level. You got that person who goes, I've never fired an AR-15 and I don't know anything about them. You know, as many people out there that have them, you could probably shoot your buddies and get an idea. But I mean, I've heard people say that stuff. It's like, I know nothing about these guns and I don't know how they feel. I'm a little intimidated. I don't know the nomenclature, don't know the accessories and stuff like that. This is all stuff that's easy to figure out and find out. But if you have no experience with them at all, getting an inexpensive one as a starter is, I think, a good idea because like what Foo said, you can just change out stuff later as you like it. Because you may not know what you like until you handle it. But seriously, I mean, if you live somewhere near a gun range and you frequent that on a regular basis, if you have no idea, you could literally walk up and down the line and go, you know, what brand is yours? What do you think? People will generally talk about this sort of stuff, and then might even you want to
go get a Ruger 5.56 and go to the M&P Sport 2. I mean, to me, it's such a pure, simple AR-15, no carry handle, which you could add. But it's like, it's just, I like that. It's nice to have just a simple design that your average customer can go buy and just be happy with it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, you're going to get a lot of opinion out there. You're going to have somebody say, my brand is the best brand, or my barrel length is the best, or my twist rate is the best. And that could confuse somebody else or just influence them, and then they get it and they don't like it.
I'm Noveski or nothing. Well, who's Noveski? And you go look it up. It's like, geez, I got to finance this thing. Yeah.
So one thing about this that is the A2. If someone's like, okay, if the picture of their AR has no front sight or has a full rail up front, I would say probably stay away from this just because of that combo gas block front sight. Just because you will have to drive pins out, and then if you get gas block that's supposed to be staked in, your stakes won't match, stuff like that. But with that just saying, you know, you could go over to PSA, grab an upper for $349 and a lower for $149, slap them together, and that's a free full railed upper.
So let's do that right now since we're talking about it. I actually have one on standby. So what can you get from PSA for $1.99 more, or $2.02 more than the M&P Sport 2? I'm going to show you. You can go this route, $599.99. Don't get me wrong. I'd get the M&P 2. I think it's great. The Sport 2, I probably would gravitate more towards this just because of the flexibility of the M-Lock rail, the flip-up sights, the M-Lock, the magpul furniture already there. And it's got the EPT trigger, which is very smooth, which is an enhanced trigger. It's a nicer trigger. $599.99 also with free shipping. So this is a very hard push to not want to go there. And I don't think you could buy all these components separately and do it yourself for $600. Not this particular build. You would spend about the same. If you don't have any of this stuff sitting around and you had to go buy all this separate, it might save you $50 to build it yourself. If you buy a parts kit, like the upper's complete, buy the lower, buy the EPT parts kit, trigger pack, the MOE furniture. You're probably
there's a deal of the day that's pretty much just like this: no sights, different stock, different grip, for $100 less.
Yeah, I wanted to go $600 when I was doing the price searches, and then you can go $100 less. But those sights are going to cost you. If you buy real MBUS sights like that, they're going to be at least $50 if not more, depending on where you buy them, because sometimes they're $50 on this website. Your stock's going to cost you 40. Your pistol grip's going to be 20.
Yep, exactly.
The EPT lower parts kit is going to be $100, which is going to include the buffer spring, all of your springs and parts for the lower. To build your lower, if you just had a strip lower and you had to build one yourself, because I've done those before. Now, the only thing I'm going to say about this EPT trigger, my stepdad and I have these in 2 of our lowers, and we are currently having issues with our 762x39 uppers cycling Tula with that particular trigger pack. And when we switch over to a standard mil-spec or a mil-spec with the Wolf enhanced hammer spring, obviously it'll fire anything. But the EPT trigger pack, it's a lighter spring, it's a lighter pull, doesn't like Tula. So if you happen to buy this and you want to go strap a 762x39 upper on it, be prepared for light primer strikes, even after installing the enhanced firing pin. We've done both mods, and it's still not cycle Tula.
I was about to ask you what you meant by doesn't run.
It'll hit it, it'll strike it, it'll put a hell of a dimple in it, and the round won't fire unless you run it through a second time. So I don't know what it is with Tula's primers right now. They must be made out of concrete, but they're wicked. Yeah.
Get a stronger hammer spring.
We did that. We did the Wolf hammer spring. We also did the enhanced firing pin from Black Rifle Arms and the Bear Creek enhanced firing pin, which is what they now include with those uppers. And it still won't cycle it with the EPT trigger. Well, it'll cycle it with a standard mil-spec lower or a standard lower with the hammer spring. But the whole idea behind getting the EPT triggers to have a lighter pull and a smoother pull. And that's going to go away if you have to add the heavier hammer spring. But that also might ensure better reliability if you decide to run 5.56 steel case through this particular gun. Because those, you could have hard primers in Tula also. And I only say Tula. Here's the funny part. We run Wolf Polyformance or just Wolf Military Classic, or some upgraded Wolf that I tend to run on my channel, or some Norma or Winchester, runs like a champ. But, you know, your average guy's going to go for his cheapest ammo, and that's what my stepdad did, and it won't cycle. So just a stupid word of warning. I know I'm going off into another area, but you might buy this thinking, oh, I get this, and then I go buy an upper for 200, and I got 2 different calibers that can run through it, you know?
Here's something else. I'm going to share mine real quick, if that's cool.
Let me stop sharing here. Hey, good morning, Ghost Tactical. You're out there. Good to see you, brother. Welcome.
So here's something else. PSA mid-length for model number 349. Of course, you don't have any sights, but you get sights. And then also come out here, buck 49 for the lower.
Oh, let me add to the stream. There you go. There you go.
So buck 49 lower and 349 upper.
Mm-hmm.
That's $500.
Yeah, you're all set to go.
Yeah.
So,
and then this goes to the FFL. This one you could have shipped straight to your house. But I mean, if it all comes together, they'll in one order, they'll all go to your FFL. But that's another thing. It's under $600, and you already have the free float tube. You have a lightweight forearm, foregrip. Low profile gas port. I mean, what people are looking, the high speed, low drag stuff. If you want something that
low
looks
speed, high drag,
more
tier 2
mattered, yeah,
us operators, yeah.
So this could be another way to go. Is go to the same site and upper and lower. I wouldn't go to 2 different sites because of shipping. Just because.
Yeah, unless you can get free shipping on both. But this is free shipping right here, so yeah.
Oh, it is cool. But I mean,
PSA's got some of the lowest price complete lowers you can buy anywhere too. Yep. So. Oh, so CloverTac, he was saying that he confused lower parts kit with a build kit. Whenever I say build kit, I guess I mean lower parts kit. That's what I meant to say. But build kit could also include the upper if you want to complete an upper, like the actual parts that you use, like the gas tube and the gas block and stuff. But all right, so what do we got here now? What do we have for $99 more? You can get what?
Standard AR.
Needler sights at $40. Okay,
and then you get a rifle with it. So
doesn't
if you're
Nice Strike have that? Doesn't he have the G-Force GF, one of the variants of that shotgun? I think Nice Strike does. Oh, that's a pump. He's got a semi-auto, I believe.
Yeah. So if you're like, oh, I just have a pistol, I need rifle and shotgun. This is not a bad way to go.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just saw this. I was like, that's interesting. So
yeah. Cool, man. Yeah. So I mean, again, if you don't mind spending $100 more, add a shotgun on there, right? Who cares? Just play around with it.
Yep.
So Clovertack's comment was what I was referring to a second ago. He says that he hasn't seen a parts kit that includes the buffer tube in the spring. When I say parts kit, I guess I meant like complete lower parts kit. That's what I was talking about. You can get the EPT version, which is a little bit more than the mil-spec lower parts kit if you want to build your own, which you can, but in all honesty, when it's all said and done, unless you source everything from the same place, after shipping and stuff, you're probably not going to save much. Now, granted, if you're doing an 80% lower and you want to build your own lower, then you don't have a choice. You're going to be buying all that stuff anyway. So I guess that's not even going to be a factor. Defense Dad's out there. He says, "Ugh, I stayed up too late." What'd you do last night, Defense Dad? Last I left you there, it was about 7:00. You must have went home and binge watched a bunch of YouTube videos or something, or got in some chats. Let's see here. Oh, Defense Dad said he was up till 2 a.m. Let's see.
Damn,
Standard LPK is fire control group and springs for the lower minus the buffer stuff. I got you, Clovertech. Whenever I buy them, I just buy it as a complete set because it's usually cheaper, and especially if I can get the Magpul furniture on it, I'll buy that package deal because a lot of times you used to be able to get them for $100 for a lower part build kit with everything. So I'd get it just to have the spare parts around. So to me, it was always a good deal. An extra $30 or $40, and I'd get the stock. I'd get the pistol grip, the Magpul trigger guard, stuff I hate buying separately. That's really expensive. So. Okay, now let's go and continue. Now we have some other options for ARs, before we move into just talking about just some general rifles, mil-serps. That's going to be an interesting one. Is that worth spending the money on? I've got one more tab to share with you here, just to kind of finish out AR-15s. So I filtered it to $600 or less over at Classic Firearms, which their shipping can be a little bit expensive. But here we go. You can get a Diamondback DB15 for $599.
So
it'd be hard for me to not want to go PSA or anybody else.
On my Schmidt-Rubin, it was $35 shipping.
Okay.
So
and you got that from, was that J&G sales? Or
no, it was from Classic.
Oh, okay. So 35 shipping. You got to tack that in there because Classic doesn't really, I don't know if I've ever seen them do free shipping unless it's like a special weekend or whatever. Yeah. So you got a lot of options here. ATI, Diamondback, Delton. Again, we're not looking at bolt actions and stuff.
Why not?
So, go ahead.
Why not look at bolt actions?
Oh no, we're going to. We're about to. We're finishing out AR-15s right now.
That right there.
We're going to.
That's where I got.
Yeah. The Schmidt-Rubin 1889.
Yep.
Surplus good to very good condition. Would you rate it at that?
Yes. Like on mine, there's one small scratch on the upper foregrip, and then a little bit of surface rust on the magazine. Other than that, yeah. Did you pay
the hand pick on it?
No, this doesn't. It's not. There's
not even an option. No, it doesn't look like it. Yeah.
No, it's good, very good, and the other one that's maybe like $50 cheaper, something like that, maybe $70 cheaper.
And looking at how much these have gone up, these used to be what, $250, $300, maybe 5 years ago.
Yeah. The bad thing of this is, it's FL no required, so it was made before 1898, I think it was.
Oh, so this guy delivered right to your door.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There you go. That's convenient.
You can't buy ammo for this.
I thought the Privy Partisan makes ammo for it, don't they?
That's GP11. It will blow this gun up.
Oh, okay. I guess I don't know what they're running in it. So, do they give you a warning about ammo when you buy it, or you better know what you're doing when you buy it?
You better know what you're doing. Don't. Okay. Yeah, it's 765 by
7.5 by 53.5 is what it says. Okay.
Yeah.
So again, as an investment piece, these are going to be. I'm just going to say it right now. These are going to be $700, $800 a year from now, 2 years from now. Well, just looking at the increase in the price right now, once they disappear, prices go up.
Yes, but if you have ammo to go with it, it'll be a lot higher. Like I have 100 pieces of brass of 7.5 Swiss from my K31 that I bought the brass years and years ago because I want to be able to load for it. I'm going to use that same brass. You can use the same brass in this. You just have to go much lower pressures.
Okay.
And so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'm actually thinking about bringing it up in whenever I head up there to you guys.
Oh, yeah, dude, that would be wicked, man. Get a chance to just look at it and see it. And
shoot it.
I mean, as an investment piece, absolutely. I mean, some of these mil-serps are wonderful investment pieces too down the road.
It's history. It's a straight. It's the first straight pull from Switzerland, and I have the K31, which is the last straight pull. So it's cool. I like it.
Yeah,
I like it. Like going back to what I said, like I don't shoot rifles much, but I like the history and development of them.
So since we're there, let's go ahead and transition over to milsurps. All right. So $600. A lot of you would say I would never pay $450 for an AK. I would never pay $500 for an AK. But there's a lot of people out there that want to go buy an SKS, or not an AK. I'm going to say SKS, or they don't have a Mosin yet and they want to go buy one because they watch all these videos on it and they want to go get one. They might not realize that these were $150, $200 just a couple of years ago, but they won't be, and they probably never will be ever again. So $600 and less milsurp rifles. What are the options? What's out there?
Your SKSs.
Okay, SKS would be what, 400? Is that what an SKS runs for a Yugo used? Because it depends on the variant, it depends on the condition, it depends on the edition. Yeah.
I mean, I think it was like 300 for those SKSs that recently came in.
I haven't seen.
So I'm going to do just a search on Gunbroker and see what they're going for, which is a big mistake. But 449 for Chinese Arsenal 26 SKSs.
Yeah,
God, these are just Norinco 699.
Fred's Gun Shop had gotten a bunch in, and they were advertising them for like $450.
Okay, so you can locally, you're probably gonna have a better, and in gun shows, you're gonna have a better chance of getting yourself an SKS for $600 and below. Because if you're going online at a place like Gunbroker, they're
I don't know,
$900 for a Yugo model, $995, $999 for Norinco Chinese SKS Polytech.
Yeah, I don't know, man. The prices that Snob and the guys were saying they wanted at a Wanamaker for SKSs were ridiculous.
Well, but Watermaker, you're like, I mean, Watermaker, you go there for the ambiance. You can't. There are deals there, but your popular ones, no.
E-Rock says, I remember seeing SKSs in Roses. What's Roses? Is that a gun store? I should probably know this, but I don't. In Roses years ago for under $100. Take your pick.
Yeah.
Ozzy Worsport, I paid $60 for my SKS.
when I was
X Adam 1 says, get yourself an M91 Carcano for the low price of $269. Those are the Carcanos, even if ammo is a pain in the butt to find for it. And if you don't reload, you're even more up the creek. But just get one just to have one, because they're going to go up in price too. They'll be $199 a year from now. They were $99, $199 not too long ago, right?
Classic still has K11s. Swiss K11s for under 600.
Okay, let me go over to Guns for Sale back at Classic real quick, because then
just go to CNR.
Let's go to CNR. I was just going to go to Milsurp and see what pops up. We'll go to Long Guns for Classic, Milsurp. We'll sort by price high and see what pops up here. Oh, there's nothing but lowers that are popping up.
Yeah, that's why I said if you go to.
Do they have a CNR? Oh, CNR eligible. Okay, so CNR eligible over Classic Farms. I can go ahead and share this with you guys so you can see what we're watching here. So again, more of the Milsurp discussion. I would say if you don't have a Mosin, get one, but you should be able to get a decent Mosin for $350, at least the numbers matching, maybe a Hex for $400, Hex receiver model. Again, I hate telling people to pay these prices, but for somebody who doesn't have one, I mean, I paid $127 for mine, and people thought that was insane because they were $50 5 years ago, So let me go ahead and share the screen real quick, and then Squib, I'll let you in, okay?
But I mean, just for inflation.
Stand by. Yeah.
So the M91s, ammo is going to be difficult. Same with that Schmidt-Rubin 1896-11. That
straight pull. Yeah.
All these straight pulls are freaking cool. I mean,
$499, $549, $579. So again, $600 gets you in at a really good price point.
A lot of these are a spring and a gas port away from being semi-auto. That's what's cool about these.
Oh, the Schmidt-Rubins?
Yeah. They're almost semi-auto at that point because they have an operating rod. That's what you pull on. They're a spring to force the bolt closed, and then a gas port and a tube to actuate on that. And it's semi-auto. That's how advanced these things are.
So you can't get the M91 Carcano for $269, which is like $100 more than they were 6 months ago. In 6.5 Carcano, I thought the one I had was fun to shoot. It was a lot of fun to shoot. The kick wasn't bad. It felt like a 308. It was kind of compact, you know, it'd be fun to play around with. Accuracy didn't matter. I didn't really, it was minute of man accurate at 25 yards, but it was fun to shoot. I think it was William Trader loaned me his, and I got it cleaned up and stuff and had a good time with it. It wasn't that hard to take apart and clean. They're fun, you know, and they will go up in value too from an investment standpoint.
Well, the Carcano was what Italy could produce with the limited production capability that they had in World War I, World War II.
Yeah, and it did make for a pretty wicked round too. I mean, it was really it was the great granddaddy of the 6.5 Creedmoor.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
Between that
and velocity and range.
No, they're not the same bullet.
No relation at all.
No, it's not the same bullet.
Gotcha.
The Carcano is a .268, and the Creedmoor is .264, or the other way around.
But I think it tries the same in the 6.5 realm. But
yeah, just kind of the 6.5 series. But it was it was a lot faster of a round. It was a better performing round, you could argue, than what some of the other 7.62 calibers that were out there at the time. The idea was it could reach a little bit further and be a little more accurate, maybe. No. What was the advantage of it? There was some advantage. So they could carry more ammo in the field.
The recoil. The recoil.
Was
they realized that, like, they're not doing anything, and you know, because 6.5 was a round ball. It was never a Spitzer bullet.
Yeah.
So they were trying to modernize, and they wanted to go with the Spitzer like everybody else. So they went with the 7.35, I think it was. And what they found was that it just didn't perform as well as the existing 6.5. So they made a limited run of these 7.35 millimeter Carcanos, and then they ended up switching back to the 6.5 because they had the infrastructure. The performance of the new one wasn't there. So you can find both calibers, but you're going to find the 6.5, and a lot of the guns that they had were still the World War I guns. They had the guns in World War I, and they used them in World War II. They kept the production going. A lot of stuff in World War II was holdovers from World War I, surplus from World War I, improvements on the World War I stuff. But Italy just had issues getting into the Spitzer game there. As far as finding the ammo, PPU makes it, and Norma makes it. The Norma stuff is not cheap by any means. And PPU is probably struggling to keep up with demand for more modern cartridges, so I can't see that flooding into the country too often. I have seen it come back into stock. You can buy the components. I've seen those come in and out of stock, the dies in and out of stock. A lot of these surplus rifles, people are buying them because of the price point or to collect. And then when they go to find ammo and they can't find it, they just say, well, I'll just reload it. And then, you know, the components have been a little bit difficult to source. I think PPU is the only one making bullets for it that I can find.
And possibly brass.
No, Norma makes brass for it too. I've got both.
Okay.
But I think PPU is the only one making the correct bullet. Steiner might have it, but you know, their stuff is always in and out of stock, and they're a small batch kind of.
Yeah, because it's a round nose. It's not a Spitzer bullet, so it looks almost like a giant pill, actually, like you know, medicine pill. It's long and has a freaking round nose.
If you think about it, though, all right, you get the Carcano because you want a World War I, World War II rifle. If you get some of these, they served in both wars, right? And you get it because it's inexpensive. And then you go down the ammo rabbit hole and you go, well, screw it, I'll get into reloading. And you get into reloading, and then you find out that bullets are hard to source, or you're trying to recreate a historical cartridge, you know, the World War I or World War II load for it. And then you get into casting because you got to make your own bullets. And I mean, you could just go down a rabbit hole with it. And that's with any milsurp. And that's something that turns some people away, or they buy it and then it ends up sitting in the closet for years. And then they finally trade it on something else later. And then I'm there waiting to scoop it up. So yeah, just hold on to that for a while.
Yeah. That or buy it, get tired of it, and sell it for less to someone who knows what to do with it. I'm fine with that. Just messing with you.
You're muted, Travis.
You're muted, Travis.
Sorry, my dog was over here snoring really loud. Can you get Arasakas for 600 or less?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
But
they're
the condition.
They're in the 4. Go to JJ
Okay.
Sales. That's the last time I've seen them.
Okay.
So the 7.7 Japanese will probably be a little bit less expensive than the 6.5 Japanese from what I've seen.
Other way around.
Not what I saw.
Well, again, everybody's market price is going to vary. So,
it might have just been the fact that they only had so many Arasakas. When I went last year to buy the 2 that I got, the older ones, the Type 38s, were going for more than the Type 99s. But I also noticed that there was a little bit better selection as far as quality on those Type 38s, and that might have been the thing causing the price to be a little bit higher. Now, it's 2 different shells. You can get reloading components for that. You can buy it. Once again, it's you're going to be looking at PPU or Norma or something like that.
Yeah.
It's just when is it available or whatnot. I got notifications this week from Midway that some of the brass is back in stock for the Norma brass. And I mean, if you're looking at like $80 to $100 for, what was it, 50 cases or 100 cases, 7.7, that might turn somebody off going, what, how much just for the brass?
Well, yeah, some of that stuff's expensive.
Yeah, but then the second, third, fourth, and fifth time you use the brass, it's free.
Yeah, so again, we're kind of speaking out to people that want to buy one to think they're actually going to get a shooter for $179 or $200. It's like, okay, you can, excuse me, but there's going to be some caveats that are going to come along with that. So,
right, you need the infrastructure to go with it. Parts are out there too. They've got reproduction parts and original parts. I had to go on eBay because I was going to get a reproduction anti-aircraft sight for my son's rifle, and they've been out of stock on the complete sight as well as the components for it. And I remember years ago that stuff was available all day long. Mm-hmm. So I bought an original, and I had to outbid a bunch of other people just to get that. But at least it was there on eBay.
Wow.
Jeez. Yeah, eBay is a place people forget for parts too. That's always a good place to go because there's a lot of things they don't ban on eBay. So just a little shout out to Warsaw Patriot. He goes, my favorite surplus rifle is the German K98 Mauser, which now, what, 800, 900? Is that what you're going to pay for one of those?
Something
over 1,000?
Like something like that. I back in the day, I picked one up for mid-3s, and it came with a bandolier of Turkish ammo.
Okay.
And cool, I started grabbing the Turkish ammo, and I pulled like 8 of them apart with my hand because they had split necks. So the rest of it, all of it's.
Man.
Well, I mean, the Turkish 8mm is subpar by.
Say it was functional at one point.
I've got a bandolier of it for collecting only. I would not shoot that ammo.
I would pull it apart and you use a projectile, but then you pull it apart and the base of that projectile is not round. It's squashed all the hell because they had hellacious crimps on them, like crazy. You go, how in the heck is this supposed to be any accurate at all? But it's
There's a little bit of information out there too that I can give you guys as well. A lot of these obsolete calibers. There's a book out there that's called Cartridges of the World and Cartridge Conversions. I just thought it's just two books here that you can get. That Cartridge Conversions is a very handy book to have. 8.5 by 11 pages. It's quite thick. It's almost 2 inches thick. But if you're looking to make brass for an obsolete caliber or change calibers, then you just look it up in that book what caliber you want to go to, and it will tell you how to prepare it through the dies, 1, 2, or 3-step process, and change that case over to the caliber that you're looking to load.
If you have 30-06, you can make a lot.
Oh, a lot. That 473 base. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Warsaw Patriot, you convert 30-06 to 8mm. You can convert 30-06 to Japanese 7 Jap. You can convert 30-06 to so much stuff because 30-06 is the grandparent of so much stuff.
Yep.
There's some good comments out here. E-Rock says, I had Turkish ammo. You could visual see that they all had different overall lengths. You could see it with your own eyes. It's like, that's scary, man. Good God. It's a wonder they even won any wars. What do we got here? Next Adam 1 says 8mm. Yeah, 8mm Mauser, 150 rounds for 130. Yeah. So a lot of good conversation going on out there. All right.
That cartridges of the world will give you, in some cases, the factory reloaded recipe for it. Type of powder, type of bullets, etc. So you can match the ammunition that you're loading to original military specifications.
Yep. So your graduations will be accurate because, like my Chilean Mauser, it was designed for 7mm Mauser round nose. Well, you can't buy that anymore, so you have to go Spitzer. Well, now your gradations, 3, 4, 5, that's not going to matter. But you go out to 7, 8, 9 if you want to do that. You're going to be totally off. Like, I'm never going to shoot that stuff that far, but still, it's nice to have. Oh, here's a rifle made in the 1800s. Oh, and here's the same ammo that it was designed for.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a cool factor.
And again, the idea behind this, guys, if you think about buying one of these, really, if you want to buy it to make it a shooter, investigate the ammo first before you get sold on the low price. You're like, oh, it's only $199. I can buy it. And then you find out that there's no ammo available, or it's going to run you like $50 for 20 rounds, or, just keep that in consideration when you buy these. But they're still good investments nonetheless. And then also from the historical perspective, they've got some collectability to them also. Again, maybe you're doing something where you want to have, different rifles from different campaigns, from different wars, just to have examples of them, and that's cool.
And you always have to think, no matter what gun it is, the purchase price of the firearm is the cheap part. Was the cheap part.
And if you get something that was made in the 19th century and it's something you can work on, or it's in fairly good shape, and you're thinking you're getting a good deal, and then you find out you've got to make black powder cartridges, and you go, oh, no problem, I already reload. Dude, black powder is a whole different ball game. You cannot have an air gap in there.
Start over, Junior.
And
French and Spanish sound similar too, but that's about all they do is sound similar,
Yep.
Here we go. Warsaw Patriots got a question. Now here's a question. What's the market on M1 Garands? Who can speak to M1 Garands? Can we still get them through the CMP?
So there's CMP and non-CMP. CMP, whenever I went down there in October, I picked up 2. Combined was like 1,500. 2 different styles. Yeah, I mean, well, no, one was 950, the other one was like 650.
Okay.
Maybe like something like that. But you get them from the CMP, sub-grand. Anywhere else, you're 12, 15.
If you want one and don't have one, you need to get one, because they're not going to be around forever. They're going to start to disappear, and then they're going to start showing up on the aftermarket like this for, on like gun broker websites. So they're going to be.
If you want a gun that is going to be like collector's item, like, hey, I want this to appreciate, and instead of just having an example, don't go the CMP, because those don't appreciate as much as other firearms.
But no matter what M1 you have, if it's taken care of, it will go up in replacement costs at a certain point. I paid $450 for mine, and it's worth $1,450 now. Now you might go, well, yeah, but you get paid more now. It's been a long time, blah, blah, blah. At the time, I wasn't buying it as an investment piece. I was buying it as a daily shooter. And now I'm just looking at the replacement cost. I was watching a friend's video of a firearms auction where he was at, where he picked up some antique guns and whatnot. And they had an M1 Garand, and it went for $1,900. And I'm going, $1,900? That thing better have been an International Harvester or something else. It wasn't a sniper or anything else like that. Those go for, they're in the $4,000 range if you get an authentic, matching serial numbers, M1C, M1D. And there are fakes out there too, as far as that goes. If you're looking to get one of those, you can You can put one together yourself. They have reproduction mounts, they have reproduction scopes, things like that. So it's easy to fake it. And if you drill and tap the original receiver to fit that mount and stuff, you've ruined the collector value of the gun. If it's not already a sniper and you want to make your own, just understand a person like me would be looking at this going, I'm going to give you a lot less money for this than what you think it's worth. I'm not a sap. So there are plenty of people out there that's like, oh man, and
sporterized, even sporterized weapons are selling for good prices now, but they're not nearly, they're maybe 50-75% of the value of the unmodified same gun. I'm thinking of the Mauser Sporters I've looked up before. They had the barrels cut down and stuff, and
if you ever want to sporterize something, that's fine. You can do what you want to do. I would just suggest that you never do anything that you can't undo.
Yeah.
If I'm going to buy a sporterized rifle, they're going to give me a heck of a deal on it. And if they go, well, no, see, I put a new stock on it and I put a new barrel on it. I did this. I put all this money into it. You ruined it. I'm either going to convert it back or I'm going to use it because it's already bent, but I'm not going to sporterize my own. And if somebody goes, no, you don't understand. I bought this gun for $100 and I sank, $500 into it. I'm going to get $600-700 for it. I'll give you $150. You just ruined a piece of history. Now, I know I'm in the minority on that, but I've actually done that. I've actually told somebody, you won't get my
I've done
business.
it as well.
You're brutal. You're brutal, Squid.
No. I've said I said a guy wanted to sell me a Enfield, a World War One dated Enfield, and stock was all jacked up. He milled it for a scope and stuff like that, and I'm like, no. I'm like, you ruined it. I'll give you $50 for it just because of the action, and spare parts. And he's like, oh, but I've done this. And I'm like, if you go out and you buy a brand new car and you drop $20,000 into it and, this kit, those wheels, whatever, are you going to get your money out of it? Well, no. I'm like, same damn thing.
Yeah, if you Bubba a rifle, expect to get a Bubba price for it when you go to sell it.
Well, now cars are a whole different ballgame though. Now, but I see what you're saying. Once you ruin the original unmodified version of it,
So here's the thing: if you sink a bunch of money into your car, even if you new and then you try to flip it, or over the years you have it, you can say that this accessory is worth that. This is that. It's got a transferable lifetime warranty on this part, that part, and that's all good and fine. But if somebody's trying to get a more original one, or they didn't ask for these accessories or whatever, you're gonna have a hard time convincing them to pay that extra for it. Or that's great that you put this on there, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this car and I'll take it like this, but I'm not paying extra for it because, or just, it just really depends. If you're looking at the collector value of the car, then you might find somebody who goes, this is exactly what I was looking for, man. I needed this added to it.
But I'm just saying, after watching Barrett Jackson this season, where it doesn't even, it's exploded. I mean, it doesn't matter what you've done to the vehicle. People are just paying stupid prices for cars. But cars have had its own volatile change in the last year that we really haven't seen with firearms. It's a different thing.
Well, no, I mean, to some extent, people are paying stupid prices for firearms too.
Oh yeah,
and we do it to ourselves. Our culture does it to ourselves. The gun culture is like, if people are willing to pay $1,900 for a Garand, then everybody's going to pay $1,900 for a Garand, that sort of thing. And whether it be the ammo, we've talked about this before with the ammo. People are like, man, I can't believe I paid $40 a buck for 9mm. Then don't buy it. Well, then I got nothing to shoot. Yeah, but if everybody stopped buying it for a couple months, it'd all go back down to like under $10.
We're starting to see that. We're starting to see the prices trickle down, like 9mm going from $19.99 a box to $15.79 a box, or $15.39.
This winter could have been a perfect time for that. Like, not many people are shoot in the winter. If everyone be like, okay, whatever ammo I have in the fall, that's what ammo I'm going to have in the spring, and people didn't buy over the winter.
Have a national don't buy ammo month, like between hunting seasons or something, where people just say for 30 days, don't buy a box of ammo and just see what happens. Nothing's going to change.
The month of January, just don't buy ammo.
Do it in December when they need to move their inventory before they have to pay taxes on their store inventory, Hit them in the pocketbook. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just saying stupid stuff. I know people are probably freaking out, spitting their milk right now, saying, "What?"
So something that's really cool, like Epoch out here. I think, Epoch.
Like,
303.
What's up, Epoch?
British projectiles through a Mosin. Well, the 311 Mosin, or 312 Mosin, 303 is a 312. 7.7 Jap is 312. So like all these diameters, these quote unquote 30 cal diameters, a lot of them are 312. So it's just naming conventions that are different. So you could send a lot of different projectiles made. This is if it's advertised for a 303 round projectile, you can shoot down most. You can shoot down several things.
All right, so we're going to move on to our next category, which I have as a final category, but this isn't something we can discuss for a while. I'm talking like modern bolt-action rifles. What have you guys bought before? We've had some questions pop up out there. Foos, I'm going to let you start. I mean, granted, I don't think it was $600, but you can get this brand for $600, and I'm going to show it off in a little bit. What'd you get, Foos?
The Howa 15.
Yeah, there's a lot of Howas that are out there that you can get for under $600. I've got them on standby, and I'll show you. Mm-hmm. So talk about your experience with the Howa. You bought a Howa 308. Which model did you actually buy?
It comes with the stock, the aluminum chassis stock, Onyx, I think it is. It was north of 600. I think it was. Yeah. It was right around $1,000.
But
it is. It was lights out.
I can't find a picture of this one anywhere, but it's the 308 24-inch FDE Cryptic Highlander camo bolt action Howa 559.
So, right? And my Howa, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to get time on the gun, So I started reloading. I had a whole bunch of junk 147 grain FMJs. Not going to be. I'm like, I know this is not going to be very accurate. I'm sitting there and in a 10-round mag shooting every 5 to 6 seconds. So as soon as I pull the trigger, cycling it, and as soon as the sight gets appropriate, I pull it again. I'm not doing breathing or anything, and I'm doing 10 rounds in right around an inch at 100 yards. I'm just sitting there just doing it with this trash ammo that I've been reloading on the low scale, low powder scale. So it's nothing that's a world beater. I'm not going to go hunting with it. I'm not going to, depend on, I could shoot it for my life if my life depends on it, but it's nothing that people would say is match ammo. It's the brass is some's Lake City, some's Privy Partisan, some's PMC.
But the Howa build quality is really good. Their actions are very smooth. They're made in Japan by an importer by Legacy Sports.
It's
they're awesome. And I'm kicking myself because they had 308 Howas at Shields a year ago. They had the Hogue stock. It was kind of a rubbery stock, but firm. With the I don't remember what it was, like they called it the Game King package or something like that. It had a scope that came with it, like a 3 to 9x40 with the rifle itself, and it was like $499. And I'm just like kicking myself for not buying it because it was really nice. It was just their basic blued model, but it even had the traditional bluing on it. It wasn't like a flat black paint or something like that. I was like, this is amazing, and I should have got it, but at the time I was buying a different gun. But I've been trying. I wanted that bundle for a while, and if you look around, you can find them. But if you search for, go to gun.deals and type in Howa 308, you'll find them for starting at $559, and they go up from there. A couple of them start to hit the 600s, and there's like 12 vendors that have them in stock right now. Plus now, not really prime season where people are buying hunting rifles. So a bolt action 308, you can really start to get some good deals in the spring because we're kind of moving out of that season now where most guys are done buying their deer guns or whatnot. There's always people buying bolt action rifles every day of the year, but a lot of your sales happen, in the fall and in the winter and stuff like that. So you can get some really good deals right now if you look around. So the Howa, that's going to put us kind of at the higher end, about $100 more than some of the other rifles I'm about to show you. But if you haven't gotten a Howa, I'm just going to say right now, the fit and finish is fantastic on them. You got a lot of different options. And I've got 3 of them lined up here, some more modern bolt action hunting rifles, I guess you could say. I didn't want to call them hunting rifles because you can hunt with anything, but just traditional bolt action rifles, modern sporting rifles, whatever you want to call them. Here is the next one that I have. This one, somebody was mentioning this. Warsaw Patriot says, I got to ask, over 45 ACP, is 10 millimeter pistols worth it on the market? I don't understand what you're saying, Warsaw. You go 10 millimeter instead of 45 ACP? Is that what you're asking? If you are, the 10 millimeter round's going to perform better. But
ish. So a lot of the velocities you're getting out of 10 millimeters factory loads are 1,000 feet per second, maybe a little north of that, out of a with 180 grain bullet. That's a lot of loadings I'm seeing are being advertised and shooting that.
10 millimeter over 45 ACP.
Yeah.
So let's say a guy's looking at getting a Rock Island pistol and it's like an Ultra Tac and 10 millimeter 45. Which one should that person buy? I'll tell you what, right now, 10 millimeter ammo is actually reasonably priced. I hate to say it. It's like $5 more for a box of 10 millimeter at my local Shields for Blazer versus 9 millimeter for 50 rounds.
Looking at this, I can't like going out and buying a 10 millimeter right now. If I'm not a reloader, I would actually go out and buy a 40 because your 40's performance and your 10 mil performance. Yeah, granted you have to reload for your 40, but you could get a 40 almost to factory specs 10 mil unless you go to the Black Hills or something that's made that they specialize in higher plus stuff.
P. Yeah,
right.
Or get yourself a 40 plus P, or just get like a 40 Spear Gold Dot, which is a wicked performer. I mean, that's a really good ammo. Oh, they don't do. Okay.
No, gotcha. It's already high pressure.
Okay. But yeah, you can get some pretty hot 40 rounds that will definitely do some. That'll do the job. Plus, it might be a little more readily available, and you might be able to find some better prices on it than 10 millimeter. It might have more selection out there also.
If I reloaded and I was loading 40, I wouldn't even do a 180 grain bullet in it. It's not worth the 180 grain in a 40 is. You're limiting the capabilities of that 40 Smith & Wesson round.
Well, I do it because of competition.
Yeah, I mean, for competition shooters, I'm talking like if you're doing it for defensive purpose and stuff, loading it with 180 grain, you're hurting your performance.
I would load a 165. And
I shoot 135 grain in 40
and get it screaming.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could get 165 grain going 1,300 feet per second easily.
Yeah, the 135 grain I'm using is doing 1,400.
The guys are making comments on it they're saying, bro, write complete sentences. I don't understand your comments. So people are kind of correcting each other out there. But yeah, no, I agree totally. I kind of miss having a 40 cal anything. I need to pick up something in 40. Just because I remember a lot of times when there was, ammo shortages, the 40 was always on the shelf. The 10 millimeter and 44 mag were just sitting there. Hey, I'm available. Come by me, but the 9 was all gone. The 380 was gone. 32 was gone. 22. So yeah, I should pick up something in 40. I had a Stoeger Cougar pistol, which was the Stoeger version of the Beretta Cougar, in 40. Again, one of the early pistols that I bought. Kind of kicking myself because all those pictures were stored over on gun websites when we were over there back in the day. I had a lot of my early guns that I bought, which before I made YouTube videos. I still have photos of a lot of them floating around on one of my computers, but there's a lot of great guns that were out there. That Stoeger Cougar was a really good pistol.
I've
got had the rotating action in it, which influenced, I think, one of the Beretta Storm pistols down the road. It was kind of the basis for it. So, yeah.
So, whenever we do go up to shoot, I'm planning on bringing my backup 40 cal.
Ooh. All right.
So, and probably 1,000 rounds or so.
Oh, jeez.
1,000 rounds of 40, that's, for me, like...
That's nothing. That's a drop in the bucket. Literally,
well, yeah.
That's one of your 50 buckets in your home full of ammo.
I'm still buying projectiles for 8 cents. Primers, I'm still reloading sub-quarter a round. I should say.
Okay. Yeah, E-Rock saying it's dirt cheap to reload.
40s. I've got two 40s. I got the MP40 and I got a Taurus PT101 that I like real well. I cast my own bullets for that too. I cast 175 grain truncated cone style bullet, and they work very well. Both of those guns.
I think we need to have a 40 Smith & Wesson chat next week. We'll call it For the Love of 40. Ooh, that'll tie in with Valentine's Day is on Monday, so but still. Because 40 gets a lot of hate.
I mean,
it's ridiculous because it'll do the job. So
40.
For the love of 40.
Oh, can you have it in the afternoon so I can have a 40 OZ while we talk?
There you go, a 40 OZ of the old E. Little Edward 40 hands going on. Kids, don't look that up. So
the 40 Smith & Wesson round has a bad reputation. It's because of the FBI being a bunch of dumbasses that don't know. Yeah,
I think a Spear Gold Dot 40 is going to make most people have a bad day, especially. I really don't think that anybody. And I say that because that's one of the ammos. That's one that I used to shoot, and I've seen. Again, it's just for a grain of salt. It does a wicked number on ballistics gel. That's all I'm going to say. I know it's just,
40 was a compromised round, but it's still a phenomenal round.
Yeah, it is. You tag somebody with one of those 175s, they're not going to get up looking for seconds.
New York Outcast, 40s are so 2000-ish. So the best stuff came out in 2000. Life was wonderful in 2001. I don't know about you guys, but everything was awesome back then. Cars could make it to 100,000 miles. Ammo was cheap. Squib was in his 40s back then. I mean, seriously, guys.
Yeah.
No, he was still in his 60s.
Foose was still in middle school, you know. Yeah. Causing problems in 2000. Yeah, Foose was still in middle school. Yeah.
No, 2000.
Look, I was 30.
2000, I was in college.
Mosins were just free. You get one when you walk on the door of your local gun store. Every gun purchase, you got a free Mosin on the way. I just grab one out of the barrel.
They used to prop the door open with an old Mosin.
The door open with the Mosin, you know. Yeah, remember 2000.
If you bought more than $200,
rap music was still good. God, it was once they started adding that vocal weird sound. Once everything went crunk, I quit listening to rap music.
When you spilled your primers, you just vacuumed them up. You didn't pick them up one at a time.
Yes.
You wouldn't do that. You get the dustbuster off the wall, that white dustbuster that your grandma gave you, and you suck it up and just dump it in the garbage. You can't be done with it. Put her in the gutter and go grab another, in the words of Eazy-E, right? New York Outcast is out there laughing. I'm sorry. I'm an old man reflecting on the good old days of 2000 and 2001. So, all right.
Portable.
Let's get back to guns, because people are just like, we're not here for this kind of entertainment. We're here for the guns. We're doing this for the love of the firearm. So we're going to look at another popular bolt-action rifle that a lot of you own, that it's been around for a while, and they're one of the better deals. And they come in variants that go up to $600. So the next one I've got on the list here is the Savage Access 2. I just picked 308 because that's where you're going to find the most variety. And you got a ton of options here, everything from $444 up to $2430. I mean, depending on what model you want and what chassis you want to go with. $654 will get you a Savage 110 Tactical and 308. So check out Savage Rifles. Here's just a basic example of what you can get. Again, tons of variants out there. You can get them, the 2XPs with the scope, from $439. They have really, really gone down in price. So here's just an example for you. Again, no photo of it, but $438 over at is it D's Desire? I can't even read. DCEFfirearms.com. $438.99. Again, the Access 2, a lot of you have them out there. Get them with, I know a few of you say that you bought them without the AccuTrigger. I'd recommend the AccuTrigger just because I had a 22LR Axis. I don't know it was an Axis. No. I had a Savage, I don't know what it was, Model F or something without the AccuTrigger, and I wish it would have had it because it's a very heavy trigger that definitely affected the accuracy. But there's a ton of options out here for that bolt action rifle, and that's well under 600. So again, we could go into the Savage's website and look and see what 600 will get you. But you start here and go up. You start to add things like bull barrels and better stocks and optics and things like that. So do you guys have a Savage Access too? Any of you guys have one?
I don't, but all this trigger stuff, like, as long as you pull the trigger straight back, it doesn't matter if it's a 2-pound or a 20-pound. If you can pull the trigger straight back without disturbing the sights, it's not going to matter.
No, I agree, but I'm just saying the non-Accu triggers are heavy. That's all I'm saying. So if you can get the Accu trigger for the same price, like what you see right here, 514.41, threaded barrel, 308. It's already got the mounting points for the optics. Accu trigger, Digicam stock or whatever cam that is stock. Wildland, what is it? Wildland camouflage, whatever. 20-inch barrel. I mean, really, that's 514. That's not bad. And then Savage makes really good rifles. I don't know if they're lifetime warranty on them or not, but I mean, the Axis 2 has been around for quite a while. You can still get the original Axis. I would probably say pass on it. When you operate the action on the Axis 2, it's definitely worth the premium price that you pay, which is like maybe 150 more than an Axis 1, because you can still buy original Axis rifles at our local shields, and they're okay. I mean, they'll sell them for like $349, $399, but I would probably go Axis 2. This one has 20-inch carbon steel barrel, matte blued finish. It's 4-round detachable box mag, Accu trigger, 2-piece Weaver base. I mean, you're pretty much ready to go. Just slap an optic on there and you're good. Yeah, 6.3 pounds.
When we were at the gun shop the other day, they had the Savage Access on the wall, 6.5 Creedmoor with an optic for under 600. If you wanted to get into long range shooting, that would be an excellent starting rifle.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, now the ammo's a little bit of a pain to get. It's gotten better, but 6.5 Creedmoor was thin. But again, I just take the 308 because there's not a lot of price differences between these calibers. Like the 6.5 might be the same price. Sometimes they're less. It's what's not selling that goes down in price whenever you look at these rifles. You can get this in multiple calibers, everything from, I don't know if they do an Axis 2 and 22 LR. I'm sure they do, all the way up to, whatever.
And
30-06.
That's something like, if you get a gun, you're like, oh, there's not, ammo's hard to get. Buy a few boxes and then look into reloading. Reloading for this stuff,
we complain about it, but for the price of one case of ammo, at one point you could pretty much get yourself set up to reload many calibers, a caliber. Like, you want to get into, you could get everything you needed, dies, powder, primers, projectiles, brass, for the price of like $350 for a case of ammo. Or for the price of another gun, you could get the stuff you needed to make yourself more ammo for another gun. So we complain about these prices of getting into reloading, where really, we look at what we spend on guns and don't bat an eye, but I don't get it reloaded. That's expensive. What, $350 to produce your own ammo?
Even today,
or less. Yeah.
Even today, looking at powder prices that are $35, $40 a pound, and getting primers at 10 cents a piece, so $100 a thousand.
Yeah.
It's still cheaper in hunting cartridges, some of your rifle cartridges, to do that than
Foos, look at the 308 that you and I loaded. Even if I had to go buy everything myself, the fact is I couldn't get 308 anywhere. And what I could find was like high-end, hand-loaded stuff that was running $50, $60 a box for 20 rounds. You and I made a nice polymer tip and a full metal jacket tip for what we say it was like maybe 25 cents a round out the door.
No, those projectile. Well, you brought your own projectiles, right?
Yeah. I bought the Hornady, just full metal jacket, ball, whatever they were rounds. Yeah.
So those primers were old stock, so those were 3 cents a piece.
I mean, even if you had to buy modern new stuff, you still can. I mean, I could still reload it cheaper than it was going to cost me to buy the ammo in the store.
Yeah. So in today's world, large rifle primers are easier to come by than small pistol primers, just because people shoot smalls more than larges. Large is kind of an older technology.
Well, I'm having trouble finding primers, but if you look around a little bit, so that's the other thing too. If you're going to get, since we're talking rifles, if you reload,
I still have 2,000 large rifles downstairs.
Yeah, rifle primers, not 2,000 large rifles. ATF, you did not hear that. No.
He's got 2008.
He might have 2,000 rifles. It's true, so I have no idea. I was going to look at my stats on my 308 ammo, but so for the 308, that's just the velocity.
I mean, because the brass, I think I gave you the brass. Yeah, I gave you the brass because I got so much of it.
So we did. I have 178 AMAX was one of the bullets that we used. 37, 38, 39 grains of powder. Yeah. And then the 150 grain Hornady ball ammo, which we loaded it to perform the same at 100 yards, so it would feel the same and shoot the same at 100 yards. That's why we set
with
it
the
up,
same powder, and the velocity wasn't that much different. I can't remember what it was, but I'm assuming it was sub 50 cents per round.
But we were loading what I'd consider a even better round than the 308. Well, because the 308 is a buck a round. It was $20 a box for 308 at the time, if I could even find it, for just basic for Winchester. Mm-hmm. And so we cut that in half, and I did 150 rounds, and I'm set. That rifle's now set for hunting, for me to take it back out and dial in some scopes. I can keep my brass and reload it. That's the thing too. I'm going to save money when I go to reload the brass. So again, we're always trying to push this off to people because it's not. You just got to get what you need. You need to educate yourself, get a couple books, read some manuals, read your instruction manual, and maybe find yourself a knowledgeable reloader, or go join any of the online forums for reloading. There are wonderful people out there. What, Reloaders Network? Is that one of the big ones?
That everybody's buy a book, read the front half.
And if you buy the book for the brand of the kit that you're buying, like the Lee book or whatever, it's just they talk about their own stuff, which makes it easy to understand what you're buying, because if you're sitting there with these parts and they explain in better detail what this does. But their manuals are also very well done too. They do explain how to set it up and stuff, where if you just take your time, it's not hard to do. So, yeah.
I really like the Lee books just because the load data isn't specific to this brand. Because, like, if you go to Hornady, they're like, oh, here's all of our projectiles and the couple powders that we like. Versus,
so here's the Lee. Well, this is an old one. This is 2016 revised.
Yeah, that's exactly what I have. That's what a lot of people have.
That's a good one. And then I've also got the Lyman books down here for shotguns and also handgun ammo. So I got shotgun ammo I need to reload because I hadn't done that yet. I've got enough to reload 350 rounds of shotgun ammo or 400 rounds or something like that. So, all right, what else we got? Okay, let's go ahead and check out a couple more rifles that I have for us. So the next one is somebody was asking questions about this one. You know, would you include the Ruger American rifles in this category? Absolutely. You should be able to find them for under $600 all day.
Oh, yeah.
And I've got a tab to show you. Now, the 762 by 39 model, probably not. You might snag one in the store, but honestly, I haven't seen one in the store. I've never actually physically seen the 762 by 39 Ruger American Ranch rifle in the store. I got mine through SS Pond 4 or 5 years ago. I don't remember what I paid for it. It might have been $450, but just looking up the Ruger American 308, which is what I also own. I've got their standard, just blued model, nothing fancy. Shoots a 1-inch group at 100 yards. I'm totally happy. These are all the variants that you have available to you in just 308. So $459 will get you into a basic one. I think I paid a little bit less than that. $449 if you want the Predator variant, but they both have an 18-inch barrel. You can get a youth model. You can get a compact model, which was too small for me. I thought about buying it, but what's weird, the Ruger American Ranch series, they give you a stock that's a little bit larger than the compact, but not the same size as the full-size stock. So it's more handy. Because when I held the compact, the length of pull was like, I was like holding it like this. I mean, it was really too close. I mean, I wasn't comfortable with it. So when you get the Ranch series, they have kind of their own like mid-size stock that you get with it. Whereas the compact and the Predator have a full-size stock, longer length of pull, more classic feel, more traditional full-size hunting rifle feel. Now you can also get that with an 18-inch barrel or a 22-inch barrel. You know, $412 if you want an American 308 with the Picatinny rail on the top and your sling mounts for $412, and that's from Kentucky Gun Company. And the prices do vary a lot on these, so do look around. I would recommend, honestly, just get it with a pick rail and be done with it. Otherwise, you've got to buy mounts and stuff that don't come with it. So mine has the pick rail on the top of it. But yeah, you can still get a good Ruger American rifle. So I was going to just look real quick and see if I can't happen to find one in 762 by 39. What's nice about it is it takes the Mini 30 mags, or you can call Ruger and you can get the 5.56 magwell for it, and it will take your AR-47, AR-15 magwell compatible mags, so you don't have to buy Mini 30 mags for it, which are expensive. They're like $35 to $40 a piece. Yeah, there's none for sale. And if you go over on Gunbroker, it's depressing what they ask for that rifle in 762 by 39. So I think I'm seeing $700-800 for it. So if you want to just go 308, just be happy. You can always go that route too. So that, yeah, I like the Ruger American rifles. You got a lifetime guarantee with them. They all have cold hammer forged barrels. The actions are noisy. There's always swirl marks inside the receiver. You can do some things to smooth those down, but I'm going to tell you, you look that up on your own, because that's kind of messing in an area that I don't go. Mine has just naturally kind of worn itself that it's no longer makes that, it kind of makes that rant kind of noise when you cycle it. There's because of the swirling marks in the receiver. They just don't take the time to polish it out. But you can do that yourself. You can go online and look up different compounds you can rub through it to get the bolt from, you know, to get it broken in better. But anyway, that's the only thing I don't like about the Ruger Americans is that the noise that the action makes. But it's a fantastic rifle. I mean, I don't know if it really offers much more over Savage Access to for $100 more or whatever. The cold hammer forged barrel is fantastic. Many of those come pre-threaded, which is nice. Mine shot great with that 38 grain powder charge. It was comfortable. I could shoot it all day. Didn't feel much more.
Yeah, you could.
You could, man. And we did. It was just comfortable. I was like, wow, that doesn't even. Yeah. And you notice the difference between the 40 grain charge versus the 38 and the 37. You could physically feel that difference, especially when you're 25, 30, 40 shots in. So, yeah, and it felt just like a little more kick than a 762 by 39. And it was accurate, and it produced really good ballistics. We chronoed it and everything. So I've got my data on the phone for it, so I wouldn't forget what it could do.
Yeah, your gun felt so comfortable. Like we were shooting it. I was like,
it was
really?
just like
the full load. What the heck?
Yeah, the 38 grain with either one of those two projectiles was like totally, it was amazing. Part of it too is they've got a good rubber butt pad on that stock. So it's a good all-around rifle. There's nothing wrong with it. I think some people are just going to be kind of brand loyal towards one brand. Somebody might be dyed-in-the-wool Savage or TC, you know, Thompson Center rifles. You can get those inexpensive, those compasses. So yeah, you've got a lot of options, and a lot of these will start in the 450 range and then go up to $600, which is what we said was the price point. So I'd recommend the Ruger American. So I'm on my second one, and it's great. And I shot the heck out of my 7.62 by 39 using cheap steel case ammo, which it was designed for, so it wouldn't have extraction issues. And it's been a beast. I mean, it's amazing. I still get sub 1-inch MOA with different varieties of ammo. Tula shoots amazingly well through it. No light primer strike issues at all. It's been solid. And I got one of the early runs. I got one of the first ones made. I got it within like the first couple months of production, because they've kind of modified the end of the barrel where the threads are on it, because it does have a threaded barrel. The only catch, and this is fixable by the aftermarket now, thanks to Nodex Spud, no iron sights on it. That's the one thing that sucks. I'm like, how can you make a ranch rifle and not have iron sights on it? You know, not everybody wants to bolt a EOTech on the top of their rifle. They'd like to have iron sights so they can have something rugged ready to go, right? But they don't come with iron sights. If you want that, you pretty much got to go up to like a CZ527. I'm sure there's something else out there that offers it too. So, okay, then after that, another option that we have, and this is a rifle that I've owned, and it was fine. I had one in 6.5 Creedmoor. It did not like the Remington Corelock 6.5 ammo. It was very, I don't say inconsistent when I was shooting it. It was throwing groups all over the place, and I was being very careful with it. Is the Mossberg Patriot. Again, another great American-made rifle with a wonderful lifetime warranty on it. It does have kind of like a little spiral fluted chamber on it. So here's a Patriot 308 with a Crossfire 2 for $519. Now, the only thing I don't like about it is up towards the front, the stock is a little bit flimsy. So you may have to sand that out a little bit to guarantee that it's going to be free floated. That was the only thing I didn't like about it, is you could physically grip the end of the stock and turn it. It was that flimsy, it would actually touch the barrel. Have a nice fluted barrel, though.
A lot of these stocks that are molded like this are like that. Go get yourself a Boyd's wood stock, or go find a good aftermarket. It's like a Magpul or something, and upgrade it. Yeah, these are hunter stocks. They're made to be light, and it's not going to mess your accuracy up for hunting. But if you're trying to go like off a bench or something, it will. Yeah, that was one of the problems with it. Just sitting in the bench, like I could see it pressing up against the side of the barrel. That probably didn't help either with the accuracy. But again, that's the Patriot is a wonderful rifle. It's got the action is smoother than the Ruger American. Yeah, I bagged 2 deer with the Patriot this year. 450 Bushmaster. 450 Bushmaster. Yep. Yep. The biggest complaint I'd have is the muzzle flash. Seriously, and even that wasn't that bad. I had one shot that I took. It was a crazy shot too. I decided to just estimate the holdover and see what I could do, and the muzzle flash was so much that I couldn't even see. I saw all the deer run, but I couldn't see if one dropped. With the other two, it was at a closer range, and it went right where I pointed it. And it was also not as dark, so the muzzle flash wasn't that bad in daylight. With a minute of legal light left, it's dark out. It's gray. Did yours have a brake on it, a muzzle brake, or not? No. My buddy, I used my buddy's rifle, and he's not big on muzzle brakes. Okay, they come with one. The 450 Bushmaster does have a brake on the end of it, so I will say that might mitigate the flash a little bit. He had a thread protector on that one. So if you look up the 450 Bushmasters, and maybe it's just a ranch model has a muzzle. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, my wife's his was not the ranch. I know that because I mistakenly called it the ranch, and he goes, "No, this one isn't that." Okay. Doesn't matter. It's just the stuff.
My wife's Ruger American. It came with the factory muzzle brake slash flash hider, and that thing just eats that flash.
Yeah, so you can't, if you get a new one, if you look them up, they probably come with or without, depending on which variant that you buy. I mean, look at this guy. He put a thread protector on there or something like that. Yeah. He's like, nah, I don't like muzzle brakes, and I do. So I would personally. Compensators, flash suppressors, I think they all have a purpose. Yeah, especially on that kind of a round, it probably won't matter once the bullet exits the barrel. So you might as well go ahead and contain the flash. But yeah, if you live in an area where you're limited by the cartridge, like here in the Midwest, and you're looking for an inexpensive, reliable rifle that will put venison in your deep freeze, I would recommend this. Yeah. Oh, look, $379 for a 308. Granted, you got to add your own optic, but you can put whatever you want on there. You can put a $50 Bushnell in there and hit something at 100 yards and not have an issue with it. We're talking extreme low end. But again, these go up. From here, you can go up the price point, better stocks, heavier barrels, different actions. I mean, they do vary more, but again, the Mossberg Patriot's another one. And again, I'm showing these now because these were, $400, $450 rifles a year ago when they were hard to find. The only thing I don't like about the Patriot is you might want to buy a second mag for it. The magazines are flimsy plastic, and I don't know what kind of aftermarket support you have other than Mossberg themselves, but probably get yourself a second mag for it. just to have in case you break your primary mag. But it's blued. You know, you got your Weaver mounts on the top, $379.98, and you can buy these locally all day at most of your mom and pop gun stores and your local firearm stores. Again, nothing fancy about the finish. It's got their standard trigger. You can use or adjust it from 2 to 7 pounds. Fluted bolts with a knurl pattern to ensure reliable cycling. 22-inch barrel, recessed crown, drop box magazine. I mean, just a nice bargain basement basic rifle. That I would have got rid of mine, except I wasn't really getting into 365 Creedmoor as much as I thought I would, and this one just wasn't producing the results with core lock. Now, it might perform differently for you if you shoot, you know, Remington core lock ammunition through it, but I just didn't have the best of luck at all, unfortunately. But it would probably shoot better with the better ammo. I didn't try it with like any kind of Hornady match or precision, or even just I might have shot it with some Winchester ball ammo to dial it in. I can't remember. So, a question from X Adam 1, and this is a good one since we might have maybe convinced 1 or 2 people to finally take the deep dive into reloading. How many times can a piece of brass be reloaded? 2 to 3 times or more? Just wondering where the savings comes into play, gentlemen.
Straight wall or neck case.
Let's do both. Let's do both.
Straight
let's
wall.
Talk. Let's talk 9 millimeter brass.
9 millimeter. So, well, I did this with 45, similar pressures. Oh. I reloaded one piece of brass. It was used whenever I picked it up. I picked it up off range. So how many times I got shot before I did it was, I don't know. But I reloaded that one piece of brass. I kept track of it 52 times. And I'm like, that's enough. Like, I would shoot it. It would be going out to the range. It'd be the first round. And I marked it. I shot it, found it, picked it up, separated it.
Sound like a little hash mark on it. You put it back in the box, the Tic Tacs with a hash mark on it with a Sharpie.
No, I mean, yeah, I kept track of it. But when I reloaded it 52 times, I'm like, enough. Like,
yeah, we can't recommend that, but it really depends on the powder, the pressure, the round.
Straight wall case until it cracks. Yeah. Like, okay. I have 40 cal ammo. Like, whenever I go through and I'm, you know, case gauging it for matches and stuff, if it doesn't case gauge, I look. I have shot 40 and 9, knowing that case has a crack in it. Shoot it.
Now, we don't recommend that, obviously, but
yeah. I've done it. Don't do it unless you know what
I've done it. Don't do it. Do as we ask you to do, not what we say we do. Yeah, there you go.
I mean,
yeah.
I've done it. It's been a first round, whatever. Okay. But it can be done. Rifle cartridges, high pressure cartridges. Yeah, Inspector brass. But I mean, you're gonna shoot it until it cracks. That's what it's going to end up happening.
And again, it really does depend on the powder charge. It depends on the projectile. It depends on the gun, what the gun does to it. Like, let's talk taper case. Let's talk 5.56 or 308. Yeah.
Is it coming out of a gas gun or a bolt gun? If it comes out of a bolt gun, you can just neck size it, and your brass will last a lot longer than if you do full size each time. So it's up to you on how you treat your brass whenever and what gun it comes out of. Bolt gun, neck size, get neck resizer. Make sure that piece of brass always goes back into that gun. So if you have one 6.5 Creedmoor, okay, whatever. Just keep your brass and it always goes into that gun. But if you have multiple 308s and you don't know what gun it comes out of, you want to full length size it to get it all the way back down to spec. So it could go in any gun. But so the 6.5, so whenever you have a bolt gun, this is bolt guns only. The pressure will expand the case to the dimensions of your chamber, and then it will shrink a little bit because brass always has a rebound. You eject it, okay, it's fine. You're going to have, if it lands on its neck, or you're going to have to reshape the neck because it expands large enough to where it won't hold a bullet.
Yeah.
Right. So you have to shrink that back down. Well, you're only working the neck. You're not working the shoulder part that gets work hardened, and that's going to be the shape of your chamber already. So you don't need it. You're basically making custom brass for your gun.
Yeah.
Wherever you shoot.
I've got when I was shooting competition, I've got 38 specials that I shot probably 15 to 20 times.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as the rifle stuff goes, as long as you keep track of it, and if you're neck sizing only for a certain rifle, then mark the box. This is for such and such a rifle, serial number, blah 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
But the same goes for your pistol ammunition. If you're shooting it out of a revolver or out of a semi-automatic, then you can mark the ammunition the same way as well. But most of the pistol cases don't stretch anyway. They stay pretty much chamber.
Their normal dimensions.
Chamber size.
Yeah, well,
you got some of these like the Glocks. They'll swell the base of the case a little bit. So you have to keep track of that.
Semi-autos, you want a full size each time. Same with 38 special and stuff like that. Your straight walled full size, full case size the entire time. It's only your bolt actions that you need to do the neck, because like whenever you're shooting a semi-auto, that brass is still expanding and contracting as the thing's coming up out of the gun. So it's not going to hold its shape like a bolt gun.
No, that's true. You got that brass is hot when she's coming out of that chamber.
Just a little bit.
And
next Adam one, go ahead.
Annealing your brass for rifle makes it last longer because it won't crack. So it gets work hardened. The more you move the brass, the more you molecules become straight line, and the easier they'll crack. Annealing them takes and puts flexibility back into the neck, the shoulder area.
Right.
You see a lot of pieces of brass that will crack at the shoulder, not at the neck first. So you'll be looking at it and you're like, what the heck is this? And it's a little crack there at the shoulder. Don't shoot those.
I don't know if I've got anything that has.
Anneal them before you load them.
Here we go. So this is what annealing does to the round. There are special machines you can buy that do this, so it's darker towards the top than it is towards the bottom.
Yeah.
That's what your annealing does to it, right? There's a heat treatment that happens, a flame treatment that happens to the round. Yeah.
And then you could clean that off.
That's just how these come out of the box. But
they just weren't cleaned after
federal or whatever. Yeah.
It does last longer if it's if you're doing thousands upon thousands of rounds of 223 or whatever.
Yeah.
Just trim them and size them and then run them till they break. And like my 223 5.56, I don't anneal those. I don't even have an annealer because I don't shoot rifles enough. I have enough 223 that if something breaks, okay, I'll toss it, get it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
X Adam 1 has a pretty good comment out here. It says, I got 357, 45 ACT and ACP and rifles in 4570 and 458 SOCOM. Those rounds are expensive, especially 458 SOCOM at $60 per box of 20. So again, another reason to consider getting into reloading. Not that the projectiles are necessarily going to be cheap themselves, but you will save money if you do it yourself.
But all those rounds, 357, 45 ACP, 4570, 458 SOCOM.
Straight wall, yeah.
Yeah, if you want to get into something stupid cheap, it was mentioned before, casting.
Yep.
All of a sudden, you have let's say you have a 4570 with a 300 or 400 grain projectile. That's pennies once you get into casting.
Yeah.
And you need a mold, you need a ladle, a sizer. You could literally get into casting for $50 if you really want to.
Find the right deal. I've done a lot of casting in my life, and I've picked up a lot of stuff from pawn shops and estate sales and stuff like that. You could buy that stuff pretty cheap.
Yep.
So and you got to make sure that you got your sizer to match the bore of your gun, your rifle or your pistol, whichever one. That's a very important thing to keep in mind.
Lee push-through dies are awesome.
Oh, he says a 458 is not a straight wall cartridge.
No, it's not. But you can still do it. You can still. I mean, if you powder coat, I've pushed powder coats over 2,000 feet per second.
Yep,
perfectly fine. Just straight powder coat, no gas checks. Perfectly fine out of my Moses.
So I have one more page for us to visit. So some suggestions if you want. If your budget is $600, we've given you many options today. What I did, and again, I'm not endorsing any one particular retailer, but this is just who I say go check out, right? I went over to Classic Firearms and just turned the filtering down to $600 and less. And I just said all long guns. Okay, what's going to pop up? Rifles primarily. So again, we've talked about the ARs before, but there's some higher end Savages you can go with that are 600 or below. There's the Howa mini action, 592. On the 22 LR spectrum, you can get yourself a very nice 22 LR for a rifle for $600 or less. You can get into bull barrels. You can get into better stocks. Here's a Remington 700 with a 26-inch barrel for $589. Oh, there's a Fuss's Swiss Schmidt Rubin. There's one of them. Browning Able. I forgot about that. Browning rifles are very nice. 7mm Remington for $569. This is just one example of what you can get when you set yourself up for a $600. Not to mention all these other rifles that are popping up in the background, the ATIs and the Deltons. Oh, Bergara. You can get yourself a Bergara. That's a 22 for $549.
Those are great.
Yeah, Bergara rifles are freaking sweet. They are awesome. Barrels are made in Spain, and I don't know if the guns are manufactured in the U.S. otherwise. Maybe they're 100% made in Spain, but they're very nice. Weatherby, always making those unusual calibers. There's one for $562. I don't have a Weatherby rifle. I've seen them in the stores, and they seem really nice. This one's in 6.5 300 Weatherby. Is that even a caliber? See, that's the problem with Weatherby. They make calibers for ammo I've never heard of before. So, okay.
Yeah.
Savage Engage Hunter with the scope, 243 for $548. So if you just go and filter the price and find what you want. Oh, here's that Game Pro combo I was talking about. You get the scope, you get the Hogue stock with it. This one's $529. Oh, I should buy this. I don't know what the caliber is though. What does this one come in? Oh, 6.5 PRC. Okay. Yeah, they had one in 6.5 PRC, but just trying to find the ammo is a major pain in the butt. It's very expensive. Again, reason to reload. Here's the Game Pro 2 bundle for $529 in black. That one looks like it's got I think it's got the Hogue stock on it. The Hogue stock is amazing. Yeah, it's got the Hogue overmolded stock. That's 300 PRC. So again, if $600 is your budget, just try some filtering and just go down and find whatever you want. Again, you can get a lot of these little 22 LRs. You can get little Mauser STG 44 and 22 LR for $522. Again, there's lots of options out here, but again, the idea was we're trying to throw at you some of our suggestions for what we bought before and what we've owned. So again, there's a lot that's out there. There's a 6.5 Creedmoor Game Pro bundle for $498. That's a really good deal with that Hogue overmolded stock with the optic. That's that action on that thing is very nice.
What was that STG in 22?
Don't you have one of those, Squib?
Yeah.
Or Squib? Yeah, Squib. Don't you have one?
Let's see. Yeah, that.
Oh,
I've got that.
Gold?
Yeah, the STG 44. Yeah.
Does yours come with a wood crate?
Yes, it does. It comes in a wood crate. And
made by the Amish.
Yes, made by the Amish, and you can get I think they're 25 round mags with it, and they also have a 10 round mag. I'm guessing that's for hunting or if you live in a commie state. The thing about this is it is the same dimensions, the same weight as an STG 44.
That's cool.
However, the mag is not the same size. The mag well is not completely the same size. None of the parts are really interchangeable per se. And the only parts I can find for this are magazines. I actually talked to the company online and in person at a show, and the thing is, they said that you've got to be a distributor in order to get parts. So if you lose something for this, you may actually have to have something made or buy another one.
Are they made by GSG in Germany? Is that
German
GSG sport guns
or something? Yeah. So I got it. Well, actually, it was a birthday present from my wife. Actually, but
I got it. Well, it was a birthday present for my wife.
So she got it for me.
Who was it really for? That's the question.
Well, no, it's too heavy for her. She don't like it. It's too heavy. But
okay.
No, she was like, "You want it?" happy birthday.
That purchase was done on purpose. Yeah.
Yeah, we were at the store and I'd seen, it's the first time I saw one and I'm like, oh, and she goes, you want it? And it was right around my birthday. So she's like, happy birthday, and bought it. But I've taken it out and shot it. I like it. It's heavy. It's like a 10-pound gun. A lot of people, 10 pounds. I like heavy guns. But yeah, the thing that keeps me from really shooting it is I don't want to break it because I can't get parts for it.
You've got to pull it. Can't get pins for it.
So there's a pin that holds the stock in place, and you've got to pull that stock off to get the springs out to take it apart and clean it. Right? If you lose that pin, I haven't found you're gonna have to jam something in there. So that's my only concern with this is that if I lost a part or broke a part, that I would have a hard time replacing it. I know for a lot of people that isn't even a factor, but with me, I keep spare parts for all of my guns, and it kind of sucks that, I've got a real STG 44 compatible magazine, but I don't have a way to get parts for this thing.
I'm trying to find parts, and there's nothing.
There's a parts breakdown in the manual. If you used to be able to go on a website and see a parts breakdown, they had numbers and stuff like that, but no way to sell it. And like I said, I talked to them at a show, and they wrote down a phone number on the back of some manual and said, "Here, call this." I never called the number, but I emailed them multiple times, and they said, "If you want to get parts from us, you have to be a distributor." And it's like, well, who the heck do I convince to keep an inventory of parts for this? I mean, there's probably just no demand, but
yeah, there's not a demand for this.
And it's just one of those little factors, like, you buy the gun, then you find out the ammo's hard to get, or you have to reload it or whatever. It's just something to keep in consideration. I did put a K98, a reproduction K98 sling on this, and it does fit just like on a regular, a real STG 44. They didn't make a special sling for it. They just used the existing Mauser slings they had. So I mean, dimensionally and all that, it's about as close as you can get for on the cheap, I guess you could say.
Okay. So this is I did find the history behind the whole thing with this gun. I'll put that on the internal for you guys to look at. But yeah, it's I found a link for it that explains what was GSG versus Mauser versus Blue Line Solutions or whatever. Because it sounds like the Blue Line Solutions thing was kind of a Canada market only thing, but that's how they're marketed here. So I'm trying to figure out how to get.
So PTR actually marketed a semi-auto STG 44 in 8mm short. They're out there. They only made them for a short time, and then Hill and Mac said they were going to make a perfect reproduction. The only thing is it won't have select fire capability. And everybody put money in for pre-orders and stuff like that. And they took everybody's money and then just dropped off the face of the earth, more or less. Well, I mean, it was a scam. I got scammed.
That Hill and Mac, it was supposed to be a modern reproduction. It was supposed to use more modern techniques, simplize. Make it a little more simple
to manufacture it, but they wanted to make it as interchangeable as
yes, and it failed. Yeah, absolutely. It took them more time than what they thought.
No, it was a bunch of excuses from them. To reproduce it is nothing. They lied and they took everybody's money. You can reproduce any of these guns, and using modern techniques, you can do it for a fair price. It's not right off the bat, but as you start to build, they were talking about making this in 300 blackout, 7.62 by 39, stuff like that. I'm telling you, it would have sold like crazy. But they kept saying, "Oh, we're having trouble mimicking the metallurgy, and we're having trouble doing this." And it's like, really? Now you see all these companies making AKs in America. What was the thing they were complaining about 15 years ago? Oh, it's just too expensive and too difficult to reproduce it in America. But they got off their butts and figured out that no, it isn't. As somebody who's in manufacturing, everything Hill and Mac gave was an excuse. And like I said, they took money from pre-orders and they didn't fulfill them. And it isn't worth a lawsuit to go after them. But if they even came back out with it and actually had them, they kept promising and never delivered them. If they actually had these things on the shelf, I don't even know that I would buy them because they lied to their customers.
How much did people lose?
Well, I lost like $35 or $40, but the people that were putting in like $1,600 for a gun, I don't think they got their money back either.
Wow.
So, and I mean, they kept showing pictures of piles of magazines and kept showing these guns, and they had some people on YouTube trying them out.
They're probably buried out in the desert with all those Atari cartridges, you know.
They made documentary style long videos explaining why this is taking so long and why that's taking, and it's like, no, dude, no, you could literally buy one of these things. Back then, they were $250,000. They said they had parts, right? They didn't have a complete gun, but you could buy one of these things and then just, you know, copy the dimensions and make it out of modern steel, and boom, you're done. If you're going to offer this thing in modern calibers, why are you trying to make it to the same steel strength of a gun made in 1944, which is strong? But if you make it out of modern steels, and I mean, excuse after excuse after excuse. You can copy anything. It's just how far are you willing to go into it. And I can understand it taking a couple of years and then working bugs out, especially if they're going to chamber it like 300 blackout, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, these guys were a company that made targets. They made steel targets. They were not gun manufacturers. And I think they failed. But the worst part is they failed their customers.
Mm-hmm. I was going to tell you real quick about that 22LR, the one that you have. Apparently, there's also the GSG version was the exact same gun. So there are not GSG, ATI. ATI apparently imported their own version of that gun, the SDG.
Yes.
And it's completely parts compatible. It's just whoever had licensing agreements with
ATI is the importer, GSG is the manufacturer.
Yeah, but Blue Line Solutions and ATI both imported the same gun made by the same manufacturer, but they market it maybe under different primary brands. One marketed as Blue Line Solutions, the other, or Blue Line whatever. The other one was ATI. So the parts are compatible. If you can look that up instead of trying to find the Blue Line brand replacement parts, you can get the ATI parts also, and those are also compatible. So that's something you can, because right now I'm just seeing magazines for sale for it, and that's all I'm seeing. I'm not seeing anything else. So yeah. All right. Well, man, we covered a lot of information today. We've been going for almost 2.5 hours, and so I'm not going to the range today. Surprisingly, I'm gonna clean up the PC carbine behind me and make another video on that. I'm going to do an actual bolt disassembly on it, get that cleaned up. It was a viewer request, so we're going to meet that request. Got a couple errands I got to run today too. So we'll go ahead and call it there.
I plan on going to the indoor range because there's no way I'm getting out in this
dude,
the 20 degrees outside and howling wind.
We were 65 2 days ago, and now we're sitting at a balmy 12.
18 and
12
windy.
degrees in Lincoln, Nebraska. There you go.
There's a match going on right now, and I'm like, I am out of it. I'm like,
no, you can't even feel your hands, dude. Me filming those CZ Shadow 2 videos, my fingers were numb when I got done filming because I was in the shade. It was windy, and it was like 25 degrees out.
Not gonna happen.
It was nasty. I had no fun filming that. It was fun shooting it, and then I got done. I was like, damn, it's cold out here. I packed up and went home. So,
and then on Tuesday, high 64.
Defense Dad out there. Holy hell, they're still going. I went back to bed for a while. I told you it's going to be a long discussion, man. We've got a lot. We had a lot of topics to cover today. So,
well, we jumped into reloading. We jumped into, hey, here's a milsurp, and if you do that, here's ammo. You know, it's we went down so many rabbit holes, and thank you, Travis, for pulling us out of the rabbit holes from time to time.
It's okay, man. Like I said, when we get to a point where we've covered it and people, get it, then we just bring it back and. That's what I do as an educator. So you gotta be delicate about it. You don't want to piss anybody off. So, man,
we'll come back.
New York Outcast says I'm still in bed, but with coffee. I know I needed a cup of coffee.
You're a drug to us. You know that.
Mm-hmm. That's right. It's the Travis B11 addiction, man. It's the addiction.
We love you. We get on these chats. We listen to stuff. We're like, oh, we can't do this anymore. Week later, we got to have you again.
We just bring it out of you, man. Like I said, next week for the love of 40. Is 40 Smith & Wesson the unloved stepchild of the handgun caliber family? That's going to be next week's topic. So be ready for it. Bring your 40 love, and hey, we're going to do an all-out brawl. We're going to do, and the survey is going to be 40 Smith and W, right? 40 Smith. Yes or no. That's all we're going to have for the poll. That's it. There's no maybe. Either you love it or you hate it. Either you're with us or you're against us. So bring your 40 load data with you, and we'll decide whether or not a 40 Smith & Wesson is worth investing in. So. Because I don't have anything in 40 right now. I've had guns in 40, and I kind of miss it. And it seems like every time there's an ammo scare, 40 is one of the last ones to go because nobody loves me. So,
but 40 is also the last one to show back up as well.
I don't call it 40. I call it 10 millimeters short. So there you go. What's that 30? What's the new one? 30 super carry? 40 is 40. We're gonna start calling it 40 super carry. What is it? It's just 40 Smith & Wesson. 40 super carry. We're just
short
10,
and wimpy. It's
AKA 10 millimeter short. So yeah. Hey, Spud Webb was short when he played in the NBA, and he kept up with the best of them, so he can play with any of them. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan. Well, Spud Webb, look him up sometime. Spud Webb, man, awesome basketball.
Yeah, he only won
he
the
was
slam
the
dunk competition.
he was the
year.
40 Smith & Wesson of the basketball world. So
what was he like 5'5" or something like that?
Something like that, man. He was like, yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about somebody had hops. He won the damn slam dunk competition in 1 year.
It's like, how do you beat physics and jump higher than basketball players that are 3 feet taller than you? I don't know. The guy was amazing. It's all about the love, man. It's all about the love. Oh God. All right. So we're gonna go and let everybody go ahead. Oh, defense stat 10 millimeter light. There you go. 10 millimeter. 40 Smith & Wesson is the poverty spec 10 millimeter. There you go. Poverty. I'm using that all the time now for everything. Anytime it's a base model, it's poverty spec. I saw that on a couple car videos, and I like to use that all the time now. So poverty spec coffee roast, complaint blend coffee roast, right? All right, so we're going to go and start things up here. Squib, we're going to go. I called you Foos. Squib, we're going to go and start with you. Squib, give us your final plugs. Anything you want to say before we go for today, and send everybody off into the rest of the Saturday chats. What do you want to say?
So, yeah, technical difficulties aside today, I noticed, and you guys might have talked about it when I was fighting with my computer earlier, that this is episode 223.
How appropriate, right? We got to talk rifles for episode 223. Next week will be 224 Valkyrie. No. Sorry, Rich.
So Operation Valkyrie, is that what you're going to title it? Operation Valkyrie?
No, it's going to be for the love of 40. For the love of 40.
Maybe I can talk you out of it midweek.
It'll be fun. We're going to get people interested. Everybody's going to go buy 40 cal when we get done with next week's discussion. So
everybody blow up Travis's phone with no 40
don't.
chat.
Please don't. No 40 chat. Look at that. See, Rich White's ready to go.
Rich,
He's got his H&K USP all hot and ready to go. Look at that.
40 fanboy Rich White.
Wow. Oh, is that Smith & Wesson?
Yeah.
M&P 40?
Yeah, one of the
M&P 40. There you go. Yeah.
I mean, if we really want to do that, I could go downstairs and show you my 5, 6, 8 or 9 50 cal ammo cans full of 40 right now.
See, everybody is a closet 40 lover, but nobody will come out of the closet to admit it, except Rich. So that's right. That's right.
And then there's this one.
Shoot it.
Mm-hmm. Like he's got another one.
Is that a Glock mag?
No,
it's an HK mag.
No, it's a
Don't insult him like that.
It's plastic.
Watch what you say.
Hey, now wait a minute here. I got a 40 that's my EDC, so come on.
Well, okay, so if you carry a 40 as an EDC, that's because if it gets confiscated after you have to use it for self-defense, you really don't care if you get it back.
The guys at the station are going to test that. We got no ammo for that gun. I'm taking it out of the evidence locker. So, by the way, I'm just clicking on every banner that I have, and here you go. That's a banner right there. That's a banner right there. Now we'll go inside. We're going to leave you with this thought right here. Something to ponder. There you go. Because we love him. Because we love him.
There's 2 Y's in Night Strike.
Nah. It's Y instead of I. So, yep.
Yeah, so we'll leave it at that. Like with reloading with 40, you can make it pretty hot, or you can make them so light, and you could have a 40 that shoots lighter than 9mm.
40 light. It's like the Bush Light of the ammo world. 40 light, 40 heavy. 40 draft. There's 40 is just it's such a flexible. We're gonna have fun discussing this one next week. X Adam 1 Super Bowl chat tomorrow. No, okay, X Adam 1. I appreciate the donation, the $2 super chat. I will probably watch it, but I don't follow NFL at all anymore. I don't follow any sports ball at all. I just don't get into it, and I wish I had time. My time's better spent. Like my friends, while their days are getting ruined every time the Huskers lose, I'm usually at the range enjoying the open space because nobody else is out there. So I'm shooting away, and then I'll check the score when I go home. If they win, great. If they don't get me wrong. I love my sports teams and stuff, but I just don't spend time doing it anymore. My time's with you guys, or I'm busy gaming online with my homies, or I'm working, right? I mean, that takes up 50 hours of my week right there. So, or I'm trying to make videos for the channel. I don't even know who's playing. Who's in it? The Chiefs in it? The 49ers? Who's playing in the Super Bowl tomorrow?
Bengals and
Rams and Bengals.
Rams and Bengals. Okay, there you go.
The Las Vegas. So. Oh no, that's Raiders. No, Rams are still in
LA.
California. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Hey, Defense Dad, let me go downstairs and show you my
Boost, where are you going with this conversation?
Oh, look in your chat.
I mean, Rich already came out of the closet
okay,
on your show, so
internal chat or what? I can't keep up with
No, right over the Super Bowl chat tomorrow. The previous
people worry and Foo starts a sentence with, "Let me go downstairs and show you mine." It's a little it's pretty cool actually. It's a gun owner's paradise, man. That's all I gotta say. So yeah. If your 40 isn't in a Smith & Wesson, you are confused. New York Outcast, sports ball.
True.
I borrow that one from Kingpin. I'm using it all the time now. No, I don't follow sports ball. What? The people look at you like they do a double like, what did you just say, sports ball? It's just any sports in general. I enjoy being an educator. I enjoy watching the high school sports better because it's still fun. It's still awesome. Support the kids. That's where my time is better spent. I don't really do a whole lot of college sports or pro sports anymore. So I'd rather watch the kids out there in the field having a good time winning and stuff. So, yep. X Adam 1 says, you have to make it interesting to have more fun. Rams are going to win. What gun do you want to bet on it? Dude, I don't even follow sports. I didn't even know who was playing in the Super Bowl until these guys just told me 2 seconds ago.
You have to bet.
I'm not going to bet a gun on it. I'm not going to.
I'm sure you've got a sky you can throw away.
God, no, I do that to one of my friends. I might have like a Nerf gun or something. I don't even have the 3338 Nerf Pua anymore. Here, I can bet you this. I'll bet you my Halo.
You don't have your Nerf Pua.
I'll bet you my Halo figurine who has a gun that you said the Rams are going to win. Okay, then I pick the Rams. The Rams pick the Rams, and I'm going to go ahead and give away my little Halo figure here. So if the Rams lose, X Adam 1, I will send you my action figure. Okay, there you go. If the Rams lose, I'm going to send that to you with the Travis P11 sticker. So there you go. There you go.
Well, he wants the Rams to win, so.
I know, and I do too. So if they win, then I'm keeping it. If they lose, because I don't know who's going to win. I'm not watching the odds. I have no idea.
Adam 1, that's a win-win for you. So if they win, you're happy. If they lose, you get his action figure.
Yeah. So I gain nothing except looking like I know that I talk about when I'm talking about football. Mm-hmm. So,
but it's a win-win for X Adam.
Yep. Defense Dad says when I hear 40, I still picture 80s commercials for malt liquor.
Oh yeah.
Full 45 works every time.
Yeah.
It's Billy D.
Your
Williams,
40 ounce.
everybody.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to say this: the experiences I encountered with that stuff back in the day was not some fun, pleasant little dance club. So
didn't Billy D. Williams do commercials for 45 Long Colt malt liquor?
Colt 45, yeah.
Colt 45 Long Colt.
45 Long Colt. It came in long cans. It didn't come in tall boys. It came in long cans.
Yeah. And what's always funny is having a 40 taped in each hand.
LCML. There you go. 45 MCML. That's the new hot caliber. 45 Long Colt.
Colt 45 malt liquor. Colt 45 for the dynamite taste.
Oh, jeez. No. That's an easy. Oh. All right.
I'm dating myself right there.
It had a happy little, jingle to it, and then there's the reality of Colt 45, a bunch of college frat kids puking out back of their dorm room, that's getting in fights with the house next door. Yeah.
No. So
maybe I should do a cocktails with squib review of Colt 45 malt liquor.
Tabletop review. No, let's hope not.
Talking about dating yourself. We had an intern over the summer that was born in 2000.
Oh my. Good. You try to mention things like, who's Yoda? Oh God, I'm done.
No, I'm going home. 2000 because I was making a reference of Y2K and stuff like that. Yeah, I was born after that. I was like,
you got lucky. The world didn't come to an end, child.
Yeah.
My youngest daughter was born in 2000.
Yeah.
Holy crap! Oh my God, we're getting old. So I know I'm already coming up on my. I can't even count this high. What year is it? 95. I graduated in 95, so we're 2000, 2022, 26 years for a class reunion. So 30th will be coming up here in a couple of years. So
Defense Dad.
I was saying you're thinking 12 years. No, I've been out of there longer than that. So
Defense Dad's ripping me a new one tonight.
Oh my God! You just set yourself up.
If I care about reunions, it would be my 30th high school reunion.
Rich, what year did you graduate high school?
92.
92. Okay, you could have beat me up as a junior or senior. Yeah, probably.
99 here.
Was I a freshman? 92, 3, 4, 5. No, I was 92, 93, 93, 4. I was a sophomore, I think, in 92. 92 to 93. Yeah.
So all right. Travis would have beat me up in school.
No, you were much more of a hoss than me, dude. No way.
No. Well, no, I sent you that picture.
I'm a lover, not
Me
a
and a
fighter.
jun-
Yeah, that's
me
a
and Junior.
terrifying photo. I couldn't possibly. I won't hit a lady.
So, kind of dating yourself. Remember the late '90s, the Bud Light commercials where guys would dress up as women for ladies' night?
Mm-hmm.
No, I missed those, man. I remember the
You
Budweiser
never saw
Frogs. I
those.
remember the
They're
commercials.
Bud Lights, yeah. Bud Light commercials, like adult guys would get dressed up, mustache, everything.
Mustache, beards, they'd
Yeah.
get their legs
So
unshaved.
they could get in free for ladies' night or whatever.
No,
Yeah.
because back then, ladies' night, women drink for free.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
For,
okay.
Bud Light.
Yeah.
So they'd go
I never
out.
took any ladies with me to have that
They'd have like
experience.
they'd have on like old granny flower print
Yeah.
dresses and shit.
Yeah.
Oh
So-
my god.
Junior year of high school, on Halloween, I dressed up as one of those guys. And I wore a bunch of my mom's shit. And it was hilarious. I had the hair sticking through the legging, the pantyhose. It was interesting, to say the least.
Oh my god!
And
what a picture.
Travis has that picture now.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
just funny.
But yeah, Bud Light had those commercials, and Budweiser had the singing frogs.
Yep, there you go. There you go. Look at that. That's me my junior year.
It looks like something out of an 80s slasher film, man.
That was like 97.
Oh, what a good year.
What
What
a
a good
picture.
year. Look at that. Look at that. I had to. I'll delete that if you want me to, but that's anytime I feel bad, I just look at that and I feel better about myself. So I'm like, good
I'm good.
God. Kind of reminds me of Jim Carrey doing the old skits on A Living Color. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
That's
God.
fun shit. If you can't laugh at yourself when you were being
You
young
got
and
to.
dumb,
You got
hell.
to. Just say that we're just happy that you didn't have things like TikTok and YouTube and Facebook around when we were kids. So that stuff would come back to haunt you. So, well, Foos, we were going to hire you for the position, but then we found some confusing photos from 1997 and a TikTok video that you did.
Well, actually, now that
Well, that's not me, sir.
well, no, actually, now I could use that to my advantage.
Mm-hmm.
In
There
a
you go.
hiring.
Don't say that I'm not. Look, I am completely. This is what I did.
Yes.
This is who I am.
Yeah,
Oh, we were
look,
hired.
if Trudeau can get away with blackface and black body, I mean,
No.
that guy. I don't know
Oh,
if you
man.
saw the pic. Oh, good lord. Foos could definitely get away
stuff.
with dressing like his grandma. Come on.
All right, we got to wrap this one up. I'm getting hungry and I got a lot of stuff to do. So, all right, we're going to go and let this one go. So we'll go ahead and let everybody wrap up one more time. So Squib, give us your final remarks. Anything you would say before we go, Squibby?
I don't even know where I was. We went
I
down
don't
that
know.
road.
I have no idea. We
Jeez,
started
I
talking
mean,
about 40 Smith and Wesson.
Who's trying to drag us all down to the basement?
And then Foos
to
is
see
trying to get us to
something.
put dresses on. Man, tell you what. Yeah.
Yeah, Foos turned into Buffalo Bill on us.
Yeah, I think in episode 223 here we gave some people some things to consider. Just because the firearm might be in your price range doesn't mean that it's necessarily a good idea. So just do your research beforehand, if at all possible. And there's lots of resources. I mean, you got the internet, you've got shows like this, and simply just talking to your friends, people at the gun club, people at the range, people at the gun show, that sort of thing. So use your resources and spend your money wisely, but definitely spend your money. Don't just hold on to it because it doesn't do any good just sitting there. And if at all possible, use a credit card.
Yeah, you don't get to take loads of cash with you, and Luck Collections deal with it after you're gone.
The amount of money in your bank today is less purchasing power than the amount of money you have in it tomorrow.
So just go spend everything you have. That's today's piece of advice from Caliber Corner.
You're absolutely right, because everybody who says that fiat currency is getting devalued, well, that firearm only goes up in value unless you bubba it.
Yes. Well, and I bought silver. So
there you go. Fine metals. That's time has shown that gold and silver has gone up in prices. And if you head on over to TravisB11.com, you can buy gold. I'm just kidding. All right, who else is with us? Let's see. Single Shot. Anything you would say before we go?
Yeah, I've enjoyed this conversation there today. I've got a couple of Savages, myself, bolt action rifles, and Remington, and got that TC Compass there last year at one of the local gun shops. Picked that up with a few extra mags, and The 6.5 Creedmoor is pretty accurate. You know, if you get a chance to try one out, then try it out. That's something else I was going to mention as well. You know, if you're interested in rifle, you have a chance to shoot one of a friend's or an acquaintance at the range. Try it out. See how you like it. You know, try before you buy. But there's a lot of variations out there. You've got a lot of options that goes along with a lot of these rifles. So,
like I said, a lot of them start at a certain price point, and then they go up the ladder. You can add more options and make them even better, and add bull barrels to them, and add other features and better triggers and optics. So, you know, we're trying to show you kind of that sweet spot. That $600, what's it going to get you? And then if you drop down from there, you know, what can you get in at? And then the prices go up from there. Yeah.
I only paid $300 for that compass.
Compass?
It was on sale.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, like around the holidays, like Black Friday and stuff, they have really good deals on like $249, you know, sometimes $299 with an optic. So, yeah,
that's
awesome.
They're a good shooting gun. The only thing that I've noticed about it is that particular rifle has a very long chamber throat, so you really got to stick those bullets out there quite a ways there to get it up close to your lands and grooves. So it all depends on what you got for money, how you're going to use it, and your own personal preferences. So. But anyway, check out the 2 channels. I got Single Shot here on YouTube, and I've also got Rumble at Daywolf. And stop in and check things out. We'd sure appreciate a like or 2 or a Rumble or 2, one or the other. And
I think Rich White posted the link to your Rumble channel earlier in the chat. If you go back to the beginning of the chat earlier when we were doing intros, there's a link that's back there. You guys can go find it if you want to, or look up Daywolf on Rumble, and you'll find Single Shot over there too. So cool. Awesome.
Everybody take care. God bless. America moves by truck, and we're still moving out here, folks.
Sorta. For now, here, maybe, right? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, that's right, though. It is the truth. It is the truth. Okay. All right. Rich White, anything you would say before we go?
No, just thanks for the invite. And there will be no shows on my channel tonight or tomorrow because I am not going to be in town. We are going to be in Harrisburg for the Great American Outdoors Show.
Sweet.
And
awesome.
Getting some content maybe from there if everything goes right and no technical issues or anything along those lines, which is something that can always happen. So.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But guys, make sure you check out Rich's channel. Your channel is called
Unloaded Media.
There you go. Lots of good stuff. There may be some more shows later on today. Rick's Life as I See It. Also, G23 may have a show later. There's a ton of podcasts that go out there. If you watch any of our shows, you'll find out about who else is going to go live, and make sure you get over there and subscribe to their channels too. And I think we're set. All right. And last but certainly not least, and then we'll give a little shout out on the YouTube side. Foos, anything you want to say? It's been a wonderful therapy session with you, Foos. You've shown us your early days in the 90s, and we've discussed, reloading, and any final words of wisdom you want to give people before we go ahead and call it for this episode?
Nah.
There you go. All right, man. Fair enough. And otherwise, I think we're set. So on the YouTube side, we had a little New York Outcast out there. We got some E-Rock going on, some Squib Load, some X-Adam 1, Defense Dad, Ozzy Orsborn, Chris from the 740. Chris, good to see you, man. Something about 93. I think that's when you graduated high school. And you're getting old. So am I. Let's see. Defense Dad. Let's see who else is out there. We got a lot of people watching today. Kevin Jung is out there. Kevin, thank you again for the package. I'm going to do an unboxing video on it. Will be really cool. Screaming Skull Saloon was out there also. Sally Ann watching today. Let's see. Chris from the 740. Fluffy 10mm Jeep guy. Foos USPSA out there also. And over here doing double duty. E-Rock J-Hike. Oh, man. There's a lot of people. Scott 79 was out there also. We had some Warsaw Patriot going on. I'm hoping I missed anybody. X-Adam 1 in the house. Rachel's Place 26 with us today. I didn't see Tara. Was Tara's Kitchen out there or not? Did you guys see Tara today? Maybe not. So Tara's Kitchen's usually with us. Great channel. Check out Tommy Gunn. Oh, there's Tara Smith's Kitchen. Yeah. Make sure you guys get over to Tara Smith's Kitchen and go subscribe. Excellent channel. Some wonderful recipes. Clover Tack was out there today too. We had Gizzard Gary watching us. Ghost Tactical stopped by. Good to see you guys out there watching. Thank you so much for your support. New York Outcast. I think that's about it. Gunmetal Guy USA. And we will Artisan Tony, Watt 75. Okay, we'll go ahead and call it. So this has been Caliber Corner, Season 4, Episode 223. Only appropriate today. We talked about our favorite rifles for $600 and less. Covered a huge gamut of rifles, a large swath of what's available out there. Pros and cons, what to expect, everything from the ammo you can get for it or not, versus the prices and whether or not you should invest in these things. So either way, get out there, have fun, be safe, and we'll see you next Saturday. I got to think for a second. What day is that? Okay, so in 2 Saturdays, I'm going to have to go early. Next Saturday should be normal time, same place. We'll talk about 40 Smith & Wesson. Is it the unloved stepchild of the ammunition family?
Wait,
yes or
2
no?
weeks?
In 2 weeks, we'll go early. Next week, we're going to be fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Next week's going to be normal. In 2 weeks, I got to go early because I've got my work that I have to do online for curriculum development. So I'm going to be busy doing that. But we will go early. So just to let you know. All right. So in the meantime, I want you guys to have fun. I want you to be safe. Thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate it. Mash that bell, like, and subscribe. Subscribe to everybody on this panel because they got great channels and wonderful content. And as you know, we will talk to you soon. All right. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye, Alicia.
Bye-bye.